Hello, hello, laddies, gents, ladies, and gentle ladies, and everyone in between. My name is Victor Cax, and joining me here is Danily. We're bringing to you guys another round of the Global Edition Series 14 of the eRacing GP. So, Danily, how are you doing today?
Really excited for this week, and I'm hoping we don't run into any hiccups, because for all of our viewers that tuned into last week's broadcast, we did run into a couple of issues, but I'm seeing some light at the end of this tunnel. I think we are going to actually get some races in, and I'm super excited for it, because I think the racers, especially in copper and bronze, they really, really want to get their times in. So it's going to be an exciting one. I think today's track is going to be a really pleasant one.
Oh, for sure. I mean, granted, like this is already round number 3 of Series 14 here of the eRacing GP Global Edition. So this is already like everyone kind of like already knows what to expect, you know, coming in these. We're going to a new location. Still the same kind of cars, still the same classes, still the same drivers, in fact, and they're still vying for some more championship points here tonight.
Yeah, familiar faces, and I do believe we have some new faces as well competing today. So it's going to be really exciting. I want to see if we're going to be maybe seeing some of the newer racers shake things up on that leaderboard, really push people forward, because, I mean, we're all here for some good racing.
Of course. I mean, that's what we're all here for, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I bet, like, I mean, you did see a little bit. I knew that, like, there was issues going on in last week's races, but at least it was some action going on screen, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had a lot of action. So speaking of action, let's talk about the track today, Victor. Victor, give us the rundown for the track for round number 3. What are we going to be expecting today?
Yeah, this is the Autopolis track. Probably a track that's not going to be too familiar to anyone who hasn't watched Super GT. I mean, I myself have not really watched much Super GT back in the day, but even I know this track because it's a very famous track in Japan itself. A rather old track, actually, and there's plenty of, like, I mean, you can see from how the track is designed, it's a very unique looking track. It's got lots of elevation changes, a lot of very tough and interesting, like, hairpin corners. And also there are corners that not only go uphill, but even some that go downhill as well. Lots of challenges for our drivers in all the classes, from copper to bronze to gold to silver. Yeah.
So how would you actually rate this course for maybe some of the newer drivers? Because, of course, with the elevations and all the turns, how would you sort of rate this for someone that might be newer?
I mean, it's certainly going to be a little bit different, I think, especially if you're someone who's more used to, like, flatter circuits, you know. The elevation changes here definitely change the way you approach a lot of these corners. So I think for the newer guys, they're going to have to come to grips with, like, how do you what do you do when you break downhill and versus what you do when you break uphill. Most of the time, you know, you got to do a lot of adjustments, like either of your driving style, but sometimes you may even have to, like, tweak your brake bias, your brake balance in between corners as well. So it's going to be an interesting challenge, I think, especially for, like, the guys in the copper and bronze class as well. But then especially I really want to see how the guys in the gold and silver class are going to be handling this one, because I think they're going to be the ones giving us a lot of amazing drives here today.
Yes. Now, speaking of our copper class, we are going to be kicking things off with our copper guys, of course, led by the wonderful Danny. I'm going to be leading the charge for copper and bronze, but Victor and Amo are going to be taking the charge for gold and silver. So I know you guys are going to have fun there, but it's okay. You guys are stuck with me for the first two best classes. Come on.
Come on. Don't say stuck with it. I mean,
come on. Let's be real, okay? The first 2 races, always the best races. Anyways, we do have our copper guys. They're still on the track. They're getting ready. Actually, I think they're done with their practice session. So we are getting ready for the qualifier session to see where everyone is on the grid. Now, speaking of this grid, we're looking at a full, or almost a full house here. I believe we've got 33 players on the screen. I don't know if there's actually more that we're not seeing on the side here. So we have...
I mean, I could see about at least 30 drivers who have already set times during the practice sessions. But I guess we'll find out, like, what the full list is once we've already completed the entire qualifying. So let's go ahead and have a look at the championship leaders, as it were, right now. So we have a total of 4 different classes. As I mentioned, we got the gold class, the silver class, the bronze class, and the copper class. Nakib Aslan is currently leading the gold class itself. Silver class is being led by Singapore's Jaden Chia. Then we got Dominic Foon from all the way from Hong Kong, currently the leader in the bronze class itself. And of course, for the copper class, Azib Shahmi is currently the points leader in this championship here.
Yep. Now, I just want to quickly mention here for the championship leaders as well. So because of what happened last week, we didn't really see any point changes for the bronze class or the copper class because those two classes were unfortunately cancelled.
Yeah.
But we did see some changes for silver and gold. So hopefully this week is going to be smooth for everybody. But let's move on to the next segment here because I do believe we're going to take a look at the team standings.
Yeah, so that's going to be the one that everyone here is vying for because remember, each of these drivers are not only representing themselves and their country, they also represent their own individual teams here. So of that, Stratos Motorsports, the most dominant team right now from Malaysia, 132 points to the Academy's 86. I mean, that just goes to show like how much stronger this team is, you know, compared to most of the competition right now.
Yeah. Now, I think just another recap as well from what happened last week. So I do believe for the Team Cup and the Nations Cup, we saw no point changes at all just because of what happened last week. We didn't feel like it was going to be fair. So what we're looking at here is actually the standings for round one. So hopefully we're going to be seeing some changes here after round 3 has concluded. But yeah, so that's going to be all the updates for the standings. We are going to be getting into these the qualifying session very soon.
Yep. In fact, I'm already hearing engines revving out there. People already vying to get out. I mean, again, the qualifying session is only like, 5 minutes long, so you just barely had enough time to get like one good lap on this track here. So, I mean, that's why they have been practicing for the last like 2 hours, you know, leading into this one here. So, already on your screens here, you can see everyone's just coming out all at once right now. I mean, they have to kind of space themselves out a little bit. I see a couple of guys already kind of like hanging close to each other. Maybe they want to try to get a slipstream, you know, especially on the straights. But then again, doing these qualifyings, you know, you want to give each other a little bit more space, you know, a little bit more room so that you can actually afford to push a little bit better without having traffic in the way, right? So let's see how that shapes up because in any case, this is still the out lap for everyone here. We have no times yet. We're going to see how who is going to be exactly setting the tone, I think, for this qualifying.
Yeah, I do suspect as well, considering that this is going to be a difficult race for some of our younger drivers and some of the newer drivers as well. I do suspect we're going to be getting some safe times for that first round, and then they're going to try and go for that more competitive time during round 2. I don't suspect we're going to be seeing anyone try and go for those one-hit wonders like we do sometimes see in gold and silver. So it looks like our fastest time right now is held by Ryan Musin, so 2:04.
Well, you say fastest time, but it's actually an outlet time. Doesn't actually count.
Oh, it doesn't count.
Yeah, it's the next lap after this
there
that will actually bring it in. Nevertheless, Ryan Musin is leading the pack right now, as you were. He was the first one to get across the line, so therefore he had the faster time, I suppose. But you'd have Jason Oon also following behind him. And, you know, I guess it's also another way for the drivers to kind of suss out the competition, you know, because following behind someone is the best way actually to get a lot of information about the driver in front of you. Driving style, like how fast or how slow they are at certain points. I mean, look at Jason Oon. He's actually literally attacking him already in qualifying. What is this, guys? Race hasn't started yet, guys. It's qualifying. We're only qualifying here.
It's okay. They're having fun now. It's all good, all right? I mean, a lot of the people that are racing here, they're getting competitive experience, but they're also racing for fun, right? Like the whole point of this is to just get as many... Oh, gosh, we've got someone that's
Jason.
slipped onto the grass. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It still has another 2 minutes, so he probably has another time to get around the track one more time to go for the fast lap. But if he messes up that second lap, probably going to be starting on the back of the grid. So be careful there, Jason. Be careful.
It's all good. But so far, just sussing out not just the competitors. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this race here, Victor. Like, what do you think is going to be the plan of attack for people that are actually aiming for top 3? Like, what would be the safest way to race around the course?
Honestly, like from the start of the race to the end of the first lap, play it safe. Like, don't go for any heroics from that first lap onwards. I mean, it can be very tempting, especially when everyone's like bunched up together because it's literally everyone on the grid for the start, right? But if you survive the first lap, you let everyone else take each other out, that's going to open up, like, kind of like parting the Red Sea in a sense, right? As long as you stay safe, you play it clean, and you avoid any kind of like drama or contact, you should be able to make yourself into the top 10 as long as you do that.
Yeah. And are there going to be any turns here that you think might be issues for some of our newer
I
drivers.
mean, literally the first turn of Autopolis itself, because the first turn actually it's a right-hand turn,
Yes.
relatively fast as well, but it dips downhill. So like when you approach it, right, because it's going downhill, your braking has to be very, very precise.
Otherwise, you start.
Otherwise, like you'll lock up your front wheels too easily, or you'll easily unsettle your back. I mean, imagine your car is literally at an incline, you know, when you're going for your braking points. So that sense, I would assume that a lot of the drivers here will have to be very careful about how and when exactly they want to attack it, especially during that first lap, during the start, right? Because that's turn one on any start of a race is usually like the most.
Everyone's bumper to
important.
bumper.
Everyone's bumper to bumper. Everyone's like critically trying to get jostle for position already, and given that the nature of this track as well, that first turn itself already very tricky. So this adds even more challenge, I think, than the previous rounds.
Yeah. All right, Victor. So I think we are starting to get some of our times here on that board. So Rafiki, I do remember this man, and
Yep.
he was famous for that headband of his. He's got his
Yep.
headband, he's got his gloves.
Still has it on.
Super serious. I love seeing his player camera here. So we've got him on the screen, Rafiki. Definitely a top contender for the Copper class. So someone going to be watching out for.
I mean, we got Duran Abesakira as well. He's currently second on the board there. Actually, he's still outside of the 153s, but half a second behind Rifki Afiat. So I think he has a decent pace here, at least during the race. We'll have to see how that shapes up. Nevertheless, qualifying timer is ending soon, so that means this is the last chance for everyone. Rahul Dev is currently fourth. Adri Amit, the kid, has already set a time of 154, already in the top 5. This kid is just amazing. He's going to be going places in the future, I expect.
And when we say kid, for anyone that is new to the broadcast, this little guy is only 9 years old. So he already drives better than probably the majority of the people on planet Earth. So,
Definitely drives better than me, that's for sure.
so I know Andre, he's been really trying to chase down for that first place for himself. And I think for him, you know, considering that he's so young, it would be such a motivational boost for him to really drive. I mean, at the end of the day, he's already driving to be a better racer. But I'm waiting to see the day that he does move up to bronze. I think he is getting very close to that time. And, you know, considering that he's 9, very, very doable. We have a 11-year-old. I think, is it in the silver or gold class?
I think it's like
in silver.
silver class, I think.
Silver or
gold class.
He's in
Oh,
gold.
sorry, gold class.
So we
yeah.
have a 11-year-old in gold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very possible for Andre. He's been driving since, I think from what I've heard, he's been driving since he was 6.
At 6 years old,
Quite young.
At 6 years old, I barely knew my ABCs. So
I don't know what I was doing when I was 6. Probably like eating dirt or something in the gardens. We had
know,
very
right?
different childhoods.
Nevertheless, unfortunately, Adrian has been bumped down to 7th place because 2 drivers actually set really good times. Jason Oon, who we saw having gone to the grass just now and is now currently sitting in the sand pit, he's second place now. Second place with a time of 153.5. Very competitive here. But number 1 right now, held by this man, Reizaki Madrova. 153.2, the fastest we've seen out of all 30 drivers here. An amazing, amazing time for qualifying too.
Oh, Rozaki might be the guy to beat here, but again, it's going to depend on that first turn. How is it going to... Because we've seen multiple races where it looks like it should be the front runners to keep their spot, but unfortunate circumstances happen. All kinds of things happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. That's the reason why I say play it safe during that first lap. Play it safe during that first turn. I mean, anyone who's done online racing knows this for a fact. You know, the first turn is usually where most of the chaos happens. So especially if you get taken out that early on, I mean, that means your race is practically over already from the first minute, right? So you want to avoid that as much as possible. And also, like you were talking about strategy, right? I mean, for especially the copper class, given that most people here are kind of like, I would assume, like new to the game of Assetto Corsa itself.
And maybe some of them are new to this track in particular
Exactly,
as well.
exactly. So you want to aim to be not only like, maybe not to be the fastest, but the most consistent out of everyone. Because if you imagine, even if you can set like a really fast hot lap time, if your consistency during the race itself is not good, no matter how fast you are, you'll still fall behind because you're losing time compared to everyone, right?
Your technique. Yeah,
Exactly.
the technique is super important. But I think we're getting ready to jump into this race here,
Yeah.
folks. So it's going to be race number 1 for the copper class. Now, of course, we do have our eyes set on our usual friends at the top of the leaderboard, but we might see a bit of a surprise here today. It's going to be super exciting to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, so as you can see on the grid right now, in first place, you've got Reizaki Madrova. Jason Un joins him right alongside Rifki Afiat, who have momentarily held that pole position, is now unfortunately bumped down to third. He will be starting alongside Rahul Dev, who, by the way, looking at his livery, literally has his face on the door of his car there. This is lovely.
I think we had this last week. We had multiple players actually just having their pictures on their cars. For anyone that is tuning into the broadcast or maybe listening, we do encourage you to decorate your vehicles. We love to see it. It adds some color to the broadcast, and viewers do enjoy it as well. So the next week, if you're hearing this, we'd love to see some of your work of arts coming out onto the track. We've seen a few of them actually in some of the other classes.
Oh, the grid looks way more colorful than the first round when Hank came in. Everyone basically was wearing the default like Cooler Master yellow and gray livery, but it's lovely to see so many people using so many different colors and even representing very different things. Like, for example, the guys in the white, red, and black, that's literally the Gazoo Racing colors, which is, kind of funny to put down a Porsche, but yeah, I mean...
Why not?
Why not? Have fun with it, guys.
I mean, that's why we're all here. Some of them are to be competitive, but I think the majority of the races here, they're here to have fun.
Yeah, so, I mean, in terms of like the representation here, we got so many, some new names as well. Stephen Ong actually managed to make it at 7th place. I actually know this guy as well. He's a part of like the online racing community as well. The thing is, like, he's an extremely fast qualifier, but typically during races, sometimes can be bit of a mixed bag.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm going to be so curious though to see how he performs.
Hold on. We need deets when it comes to this mixed bag. What do you... Okay, we're going to get into the race here.
Yep, the red lights are going on, guys.
Let's go.
We're going to be going for a 15-minute long race here, ladies and gentlemen. Reizaki Madrova in the lead here. It's go time now for our first race for the Copper class. Reizaki already taking a good lead ahead of Jason Un as they pull away to that first turn. You can see cars going 3 wide, some even 4 wide as well as they shuffle into that first turn. Reizaki still stays in the lead.
Ooh.
Bumps a little bit on the curb though, but still enough to stay ahead of Jason Un. He stays in first place. Jason's still not quite out of it yet. He's looking to try to attack it on the outside of the next turn. He's already getting a lot of speed though, but not enough to overcome Reizaki here. Reizaki still maintains his lead even after the first 3 turns.
Even after those first 3 turns. But it's not over yet though, Victor, because we do have a couple of hairpins coming up as well. But so far, I have to say, pretty clean up front here. We haven't really seen any collisions at all. No one's gone off track. We just saw someone go a little bit off the curb, but everyone's been playing extremely safe for this first lap.
Yeah, a bit of a tussle going on the further back up in the grid there. You can see everyone's just kind of like following each other's line here. Again, kind of playing it safe. Yeah, I guess they must be listening in on us on the broadcast here because they're certainly doing it well.
I think it's because of the elevations. Because the elevations, it just makes it so difficult when it comes to some of that visibility. And at the end of the day, we see some of the issues some of these races are going to be encountering, just losing control of their vehicles if they're not able to hit that correct braking point. But aside from that, though, it's just been one player to drift off the track.
Yeah, this is a little bit of chaos even. It's like another car just going off there. Who is that? I think that's Jason. Oh, wait, Jason Un has actually fallen down to 5th place right now. He's currently behind Durant Abitsekera trying to regain position. Rahul Dev has actually taken position from Rifki Afiat right now. He's in lead of the race here in front of that the teal and black car of Rifki Afiat right now. Durant currently in 3rd in the green and white car is now putting the attack on 2nd place here. Currently looking whether he can get past. In the meantime, look at Ryan Musi taking the inside from Jason Un in danger, putting him down to 5th place. He does take him off of his position there. 4th place now for Ryan Musin.
Oh man, look at this race. All the cars are lining up so close to one another, but it's just the first lap. We're not even close to having this race over, but I have to say, again, props to our Copper class racers. They are doing a really good job going around these corners. Had a couple of minor incidents, but I was expecting to see a little bit more chaos for this first race, this first lap.
I mean, yeah, everyone's keeping it nice and clean.
Very diligent.
Even Adria as well. Currently inside a pack of racers here, very close by. You can see Ryan Musing going for another turn. Jason Un, but unfortunately he loses control. Collects one guy. He's currently dropping all the way down right now with Jason Un and Adria inherit 4th and 5th place respectively here and continues to take this battle for the rest of the sector.
So this race, it might be in the hands of Rahul here if he can maintain that 1 second lead over Rafiki. But back in the on the backside there, we're going to be looking at Andre here, who's actually trying to keep his position ahead of Eric. But Eric is hot on his heels, just trying to find that opening to slip on through. But might have to be through this turn. Wants to go on the inside. He's not feeling safe. He's just going to stay behind Andre.
Yeah, and this particular hairpin here is so unique, right? Because it's literally representing the peak of a hill, a mini hill, in fact. So like you literally go from like going uphill
up to down,
and then you go downhill after that. And for Eric Chandra, is not unfortunately able to get enough speed to keep up with Adrian. Now they're building a 0.7 second gap between the two of them now. So Adrian slowly but surely pulling away and actually catching up to Jason Oon as well. So this is looking like an exciting three-way battle right now between these three drivers.
Yep, and there's also a battle up at the front, right? We've got a battle for these three racers in first, second, and third place, and then fourth, fifth, and sixth place.
Yep.
Oh no! Looks like someone may have just lost control and collided into another vehicle. Oh, and again.
And again, a bit of contact as well for 8th place here. Rizkula Azia is the guy we're focusing on right now. It's a three-way battle going on right now for 8th place, but Rizkula is actually holding most of the people back here, or rather, I think it's not Yurosh, but Rizkula in that Fanatec white car is able to stay in 8th place from now, so that's a good thing, especially getting on this straight now, because it's going to be able to pull away here while Bardian Nick and Reizaki Madrova continue to try to hold on behind him right now, going to that first turn.
Oh man, gotta watch these turns. We've seen a couple of these vehicles just sort of drive out and lose control, just going a little bit off the track there. Unfortunately, Andre also losing a lot of speed. Oh no, Andre just miscalculating that turn.
Yeah.
Oh, lost his position.
Lost it. He's out of the top 10 right now. Currently, the 10th place itself apparently is being hit by Jason Oon, although on the broadcast graphic here, okay, now it's updated. He is in currently 10th place. So many changes going on in the middle of this top 10 right now.
And it comes down to the technical ability of some of these races, right? You miscalculate that one turn. Everyone is so close to one another. You are just going to drop down if you aren't able to hit those corners and those turns properly. You have to really respect the corners and the terrain. I think the terrain is really what's messing up some of these drivers today.
Look at Duran, just fishtailing as he's going downhill from his hairpin, right? It's so tricky, this car, because the engine being mounted in the rear means it's so sensitive, especially under braking, right? So if you can imagine just a slight miscalculation of a slight loss of focus, so easy to turn your car around. And as some of these drivers like Jason, like Adre have just found out, unfortunately, the hard way.
The hard way. I mean, sometimes you have to take those hard lessons to be able to learn the lesson at the end of the day. So hopefully this will make them better drivers. Of course, some hiccups now, but you know, that's how you live, that's how you learn. In the meantime, though, we aren't seeing too many changes at the upper end of that leaderboard. We just have Jason Oon really trying to fight for that 8th position, but just not in a really good spot for overtaking. Although Andre is trying to fight up against Bardi and Nick for that 12th spot.
Yeah, he's trying to close the gap right now, but he's got a lot of work to do here to get back into the top 10. Nevertheless, you know, we were mentioning about how things have been kind of like messy going on from 4th place down, but nevertheless, the top 3 consistently has still been there. Raul Dev still leading this race, Rifki Afiyat still in 2nd place, and Duran Abisakera 1 second behind Rifki right now. So for now, it seems like they're quite secure in that podium position, while everyone else is still fighting for position right now. Rizkula Astadia trying to go for the attack on the RDN. Rizky there, he's now currently up in 7th place. RDN trying to catch up to him in order to get the position back right now, while Jason Oon watches from the sidelines though, because Ryan Musin is also putting an attack on that gray and orange car too, so he's gonna have to watch both in front of him as well as behind him as well. Can you imagine the mental capacity you need to do that?
It's not just that, but it's also the track, right?
Yeah.
There's just so many things happening, and if you can't mental math everything, that's going to be quite problematic for some of these drivers. But we are still seeing some clean driving aside some of these cars going bumper to bumper, just trying to find those openings. I think especially when it comes to racing in the copper class, the mental game is going to have to start to kick in as well, right? Can you intimidate the person in front of you and force them into a potential misplay? Maybe make them just feel that little bit too much tension, and then they make the mistake, and that's going to be the front door opening for you to slide on in, Andre.
And speaking of doors opening, Barden Nick mistake there on the exit. Slipping right through there as Adrian Ahmed into 12th place, and he overtakes the red and white car now. The green car going downhill, and now trying to bring the fight here to 11th place. Azib Shami Mokhtar, who's currently still very far ahead of them and trying to get in on the action in front of him, because Jason Oon and Ryan Musin still fighting. Oh, a bit of contact there between Jason Oon and Ardian. Doesn't seem to slow down him too much. He's going for an attack once again on the inside here.
Oh.
Goes alongside on the outside. Oh, a little bit of a tip in the grass there. That's lost him a bit of position as well. And Azib Shami Mokhtar takes the position away from him, moving up into 10th place.
I'm not sure if I saw correctly. I think Jason actually got bumped there, which is why he lost control going around that corner. So a little unfortunate.
Nevertheless, in front, still a battle going on. Ryan Musin now moved up to 8th place here, trying to hold Ardian Shah behind him. And it's having a clear line here while Shami Mokhtar right now goes alongside Ardian Shah here, trying to take position there. Shami Mokhtar, not enough speed, but he's going to take him at the breaking point there. Nice move there going to the first turn. He moves up to 9th place.
And if you can keep that up, I think you're going to be able to go not just from 9th place, but maybe into 8th as well.
I mean, he's already attacking Ryan here. Look at that. Going around the outside, too. He's feeling so confident already. Even after all of that contact, Ryan Musin desperate to try to keep his car as wide as possible on the track here. You can see him just taking the middle of the track just to make sure that he's ready to defend the moment Azib decides to strike.
Well, let's see where that opening is going to be. Can Azib find this, or is he just going to have to stay in this position until that door opens up? But yeah, it seems like the action is going to be happening towards the middle of the leaderboard here, because as you can see on the screen, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way down up until that 8th place, I think has been solidified for this race until we maybe see a major collision, or one of these players, unfortunately, has a bit of a mishap going around these corners.
Yeah.
So everyone is battling to try and get that 8th place. And Ryan is the gatekeeper here. He's got so many cars lined up behind him.
I know, he's doing so good to try to keep Azib behind. Azib taking a very tight line actually on the hairpin just now, so he's already gained a lot of time now, only 0.2 of a second behind Ryan Musin at the moment. So Ryan is just definitely watching out around his side mirrors and stuff to make sure that he keeps Azib behind. And look at that, he's also being blocked a little bit. Oh, that door just opened up and immediately he jumps on the attack. Azib Shami Mokhtar moves up to 8th place now. What a move.
This man is a predator and he is still looking for more. He's not happy with that one overtake. He wants one more, but can he find it? Look how aggressive he's playing.
I mean, the guy has the pace. That's the thing. Everyone else around him not lapping at the same pace as he is. So he knows he's so much faster.
Look,
He's just trying to find an opening now on the straight here. He didn't take too much of a tow, but look at the amount of speed he has. He's already gaining and gaining and gaining a Riskula. Turn 1's coming up. He's going to be attacking around the outside here. Can he outbreak him in time, though? This is going to be a tight one going into turn. Bit of contact as well. Riskula still stays in front. Ryan Musin uses his opportunity to slip in on the inside, and so does Ardian Shah as well, alongside Azib Shami Mokhtar right now, battling him for 9th place here. Azib, just one slight contact has already completely changed the dynamics of this battle here.
It's reset the race for him if you think about it. He worked so hard to get there, and all of a sudden, one misplay.
That's a good one there, but then Riskula and Ardian Shah now battling for that 9th place here, just traded position. But look at who's coming on the inside. A-Train, the great car, has hooked up. He's going to try to get into 10th place here. Riskula Alcia is right next to him, trying his level best here to stay in that 10th spot. But Adre, he wants to be not only 10, he wants to be above the 10th, the top 10. He wants to be amongst those trying to fight for the podium position here. Nevertheless, he's still going to have to try again. Going up there, in the 6th place right now. 2 cars side by side. We got Eric Chandra. Oh, sorry, he's way ahead. Nirosh Yeshan and Razaki Madrova now battling for 5th place here. Ooh, nice back and forth there. Nirosh almost had a chance there, but Razaki came back just in time to maintain his position in 5th.
Oh boy, gotta keep these corners clean, Razaki. If he can do this, he's gonna be able to keep his position, but hot on his tail though. I mean, we've seen what's happened. Yeah,
we've seen what happened. 3 minutes still remaining in this race, guys. And at the moment, Azib Shami Mokhtar still hanging on to the 8th place, but it seems like he's hanging on for dear life. Look at how many drivers he's holding up behind him. He must be feeling so much pressure, despite the fact that Ryan Musin is already pulling ahead here. Azib Shami Mokhtar not able to keep up with his pace somehow.
Now, speaking of that, down in 11th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, we have 3 cars battling for that position. And look how closely they're racing against one another. Oh boy, they're on the straight here, but we know always on the straight, when you go for that first turn, disaster strikes.
Well, let's see if Lightning is going to strike twice here. Ardian Shah is currently in 9. Now he's going to battle Azib Shami Mokhtar for 8. He has the inside though, but this Azib still has a lot of speed, so he's able to pull up ahead. But in the meantime, Adre is already actually taking the opportunity, using the toe off of the other cars. Has already gained a couple of places. In fact, he's trying to hold back. I think that's a Riskula as LDCR behind him. Nevertheless, unfortunately, opened the door too much on the inside, and both Azim Shami as well as Ardian Shah has already slipped through. Ardian Shah, in fact, already pulling ahead with his battle here. Jason Wu, in the meantime, on the inside of Riskula, manages to take a position from both him and Adrian now. He's up back into 10th place.
Oh man, it's just finding those openings, even though you might be behind those two cars that are actually battling for that position. You can sneak on through because they're so busy dealing with one another.
Right.
You have to be so careful with your positioning, especially if you're battling with another car. Sometimes you have that X factor. Slips in, where did they come from?
And again, it's all about the points, right? You know, every single point matters here. And with only 2 minutes left, you know, this is like the last chance here to try to get some additional points here. I mean, remember, Jason Un qualified 2nd place, dropped down so much, but it's now able to recover up into 10th place here. So at the very least, he wants to be able to keep this point should he be able to finish in this position. But again, so many other drivers around him, especially behind him. Adrian, that green car, is looking for an opportunity here. Jason Un now trying to go for the attack. Takes the inside of Ardian Shah. Beautiful one there, but unfortunately not fast enough for the exit though. Go to curve. Riskula, I think, is just literally slipped himself off the track. Adrian continues on though, but Jason Un continuing to battle, stays in front of Ardian Shah here. He is up into 9th place.
He's managed to create some distance as well, so Jason going to be feeling pretty comfortable for this next 1 minute, but can he maintain that lead? Although I feel kind of bad here for Adrian Shah because he was in such a good position. He was in front of everyone. He was the gatekeeper. It's just those small corners, those small plays, those small technical plays. It can really set you back, especially if you're trying to keep everyone behind you.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine how
Andre.
tiring it must be mentally right now. Less than a minute to go before we will be bringing the final lap of this race here. Ardian Shah still trying to keep Adrian, out of the top 10 here. But it seems like Adrian's already slowly but surely gaining on him. Look at him, he's already going on attack. He's hungry for it. He tried to go on the inside, but still Ardian Shah had enough speed on the exit there to stay ahead of that green car. Nevertheless, looking a little bit wide there. Adrian wants it. Adrian sees it. Adrian feels it, in fact, as it started to go uphill here. Nevertheless, Ardian Shah still staying in 10th place for now. He's desperate to try to keep the kid behind. Meantime, another battle happening here. Eric Chandra caught up to Duran here. This is going to be a battle for the podium here, ladies and gentlemen. 15 seconds to go.
15 seconds to go. Can Eric make this catch-up happen, though? I'm not sure if Durand is going to give him that opening at all. Can he keep that door closed? It's going to be up to Durand. Looking clean so far on those lines. Oh, it's so close, Victor.
Oh, so close, in fact. I mean, Adrian, unfortunately, was also close as well, but seemed to have fallen down a bit. Nevertheless, Eric now is sensing an opportunity to get himself on the podium here. Continues to keep the pressure going on Durand, who almost hooks him on the inside, but nevertheless, not enough speed actually to overtake him quite yet. Durand still maintains his 3rd position for now, but look at Eric. He's still not letting up the pressure at all on the straight. He has a toe now, going to turn 1. Which way is he going to go? Inside, outside? He goes for the outside. Let's see if he can make it.
Oh, can he make this overtake happen? Durand doesn't want it.
He backs out a bit, flashes Durand in frustration. Still had to hold up there, but nevertheless, Raul Dev has already come across the line and he wins the race, leading pretty much from the first lap and does come home to take 1st place here. Rifki Afiat takes a 2nd place behind him now, 1.6 seconds behind. And then you got Durand Abisika Sekera successfully defends his podium position here against a challenge from Eric Chandra. And wow, what a race that was.
What a race, especially for that last segment, especially between our 3rd and 4th places. It was so close. It was just trying to find that opening, but you know, it's the nature of the race. You know, at the end of the day, you are also racing your own race, right? You have to try and create your own personal best, keep everything clean, but also try to be as optimized as possible when you're trying to make those turns. So I think for a lot of our Copper races here, a lot of lessons learned for race number 1, and we still have race number 2. So it's not over yet. You still have a redemption round. But before we jump into that round, we are going to go for a quick break, folks. We'll see you right after this.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the eRacing GP Series 14 for the Global Edition. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Daniel Lee. We just witnessed the first race for the Copper class, but now that we've already known the places, we're going to be going for race number 2, where it's going to be a reverse grid now for the top 10. So this is going to be another 15-minute long race here. It's still going to be the same track, still going to be the same cars, and of course, the same drivers.
Yes. Now, even though everything else is exactly the same, and minus the fact that we are going to be going in a different direction, we could be looking at some different results here because not every race is the same. So we probably are going to be seeing some massive changes. But I do suspect our drivers for race number 2 to be a little bit more prepared for this next race, right? Because you've had race number 1, and there's a big difference, I feel, between practice races and actual races, right? Because it's the real thing, and for some of the newer guys, your mentality really affects your driving.
Right.
And that added pressure, normally you might be really great at a particular track. All of a sudden you're in a race and you're making these little mistakes. You're making these little things that you don't normally do because you're under that pressure. And this is especially evident for some of the newer drivers. So having been warmed up for race number 1, I think race number 2, we're going to be seeing some better driving from some of our drivers and maybe some revenge, because let's be realistic. If you're not happy with how race number 1 went, this is your time to redeem yourself.
Yeah, indeed it is. And you know who's looking for that redemption here? The guy who is currently starting in the front of the grid here, Adrian Ahmed. He qualified 5th place early on for race number 1, but unfortunately due to the chaos and the drama early on, unfortunately he dropped all the way down out of the top 10. But to his credit, managed to fight all the way back to just snap that spot, and it was so important, right? Because then the top 10 of the race are the ones who are going to experience the reverse grid. So now he's starting in front here, a good chance for him to get some good haul points in race 2.
Yes, although there is going to be the added pressure of knowing that there's going to be so many drivers behind you as well. So that first turn, that's going to be where we could be seeing quite a lot of action, as we like to call it here in the Copper class.
All right, everybody.
Let's
the
go.
red lights are going on. The engines are revved up. It's going to be go time now for race number 2. Adrian Ahmed leading the pack right now. A good start for him so far, but Jason Un, no slouch either, as he's grinding to take the inside here. Nevertheless, Adrian Ahmed needs to defend as well, because Aziz Shami Mokhtar is going to try to split the 2. Unfortunately, had to brake a little bit early, so that allows Adrian to slip all the way into lead. Jason Un and him contact as well. A little bit of bump and grind as well going on behind him, but Eric Chandra is also trying to get in on the action here on the top 3. Aziz Shami Mokhtar still in that white car, still on the outside. Unfortunately, Ryan Musin is taking the attack onto him, while Jason Un is fighting on the attack for Eric Chandra. Nevertheless, Ryan Musin finally finds an opening there, takes a position from Aziz Shami, and he's going to be up in 4th place now, blocks him completely. Oh, contact in the back there. I think that's Duran Abishakera.
Oh, some more.
A bit of damage as well. Dev has made his way up to 7th place, but momentarily to run a Pereira. Metro overtake it and go. Fights back in the next corner itself. Cannot quite.
This one already nipping at his heels.
And it all comes down to those really close, tight corners. You have to be so careful where everyone is, because sometimes you can be bumped from the back. And we've seen a couple of times already the cars just spiral out of control, especially with the fact that you're looking at all of this elevation. You just don't have that same level of control that you would compared to that flat track.
Right, already overtaken Jason Oon, who's actually lost 2 positions here to both Azib Shami Mokhtar and Ryan Musin. Unfortunately, we didn't quite see what happened there, but nevertheless, he's already lost 2 positions, it seems, in one sector. So Azib Shami Mokhtar currently in second place, is already pulling ahead. Ryan Musin now trying to keep Jason Oon behind him, but all the while, the winner of race 1, Rahul Dev, is just gaining in on his battle, so he needs to complete this as quickly as possible. Try to get back on a podium position here and try to stay ahead of Rahul Dev.
Got to stay ahead of Rahul Dev. Although you have to speak about our lap leader as well. Andre has just had such a clean race. 2 seconds ahead of Azim. Oh gosh, a little bit of a collision there. But the cars are able to recover, thankfully. But Jason Oon, he has to keep his position, because this Ryan has been just a pain in his backside. You just can't have a clear race. Oh, just sliding off the track on the limit there. But great recovery. Now back onto the straight. The car's going to pick up some speed before they get ready for that next turn.
Good on Jason Oon though. He's back up in 3rd place here. Durant Abisekera already bring a challenge into Rahul Dev here. This is going to be a fight for 5th place, and Rahul has already made up 5 positions so far, but he's definitely still aiming for the podium. But nevertheless, he needs to keep Durant behind him, and it looked like so tantalizing close in that first turn. Is Durant going to try to attack again on the next lap though?
We've seen it happen before, right? Durant can be very aggressive if he wants to be, but I think he's biding his time, waiting for that opening, maybe hoping for the 2 cars in front of him to actually try and go head to head, and then he slips on through. That has been a tactic for some of these drivers, to just wait and be extremely patient. You don't have to rush things. Just find that opening and things should be good. But Jason Oon though, this man, I can see it, I can feel it. He's hungry. He wants revenge.
I mean, we're only 5 minutes into the race, and Jason Oon is just putting on what a show here, isn't it? Now he's going to try to challenge Shami Mokhtar for 2nd place here, but all the while, Adrian is just building a 1 second gap from these 2 here. So Jason Oon needs to dispatch Shami Mokhtar so he can catch up to the car in green right now that's leading the pack here.
As if he's actually doing a really good job of chasing Andre. Andre lost a lot of speed in this race. He actually was leading by 2 seconds, but now he's almost at 1 second. Oh boy, Azim. Oh, hang on a minute. What happened to Azim?
He just slipped off. He just slipped off completely, and Jason Oon takes 2nd place. Yeah, what literally happened here just happened off camera. He's on the grass now, only able to recover and get back in the race somewhere in 11th, 12th place, 13th place. Another couple of cars has also passed him as well. He's out of the top 10 effectively.
He's lost his speed again. Oh gosh, I think he might just be out of the running here for top 10, unfortunately. But this does leave out other remaining races. Jason Oon and Ryan really vying to try and fight for that 2nd place. Jason, yes, he wants to try and chase Andre, but I mean, he's got to fight off Ryan first. But Ryan, in the meantime, has his own competitor. He's got Rahul right on his tail.
Yeah, Rahul was in fact like already gaining on him just now on the straight, so now he's trying to go for the outside. Ryan Musin still defends it though, staying in the 3rd place right now, a very important place, especially in the 2nd race here. But nevertheless, with Rahul already taking the big haul of points in the 1st race, certainly Ryan Musin wants to prevent him from making any more progress here. But nevertheless, Rahul goes for the attack on the outside. He has a lot of speed though, but Ryan Musin is just a little bit faster, still stays ahead of the red, white, and black car.
Yeah. Rahul just really trying to make sure he's able to get those angles and not actually bump into Ryan as well, because we've seen a couple of these cars actually bumping into each other, especially going around these turns. Just find that opening. Don't go for any contact. Keep it nice and clean. But Ryan is doing a really good job of denying him the inside.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just his defense is the name of the game right now for Ryan Musin. He wants to be able to keep his position on the podium here. It's 1 second between himself and Jason Oon. So again,
Rahul.
he just needs to get this out of the way. Cannot quite find it because again, Ryan Musin is doing so well to hug the inside of this corner, right? And it's also a very tricky part here, in fact, to try to make the attack. Speaking of attacks though, Eric Chandra, he's sensing an opportunity here, especially against Durant Abisekera. Is he going to go for it? Not quite yet, but he can sense that he's already thinking about it.
He's probably thinking about it at this next turn. Not quite. Just going to hang back, wait for that next opportunity. And this might just be it. Actually, no.
Nope,
Going to be hogging it inside lane.
Wait for it.
Durant's defense is actually pretty good, though. He's done such a great job at denying the overtake there for Eric. So Eric is just going to have to wriggle his way in. Maybe wait for Durant to attack Rahul because, of course, I think someone's actually driven off the course.
Yeah, I think it was that Ryan Musin just now. I saw like
yeah, it was Ryan. I saw
it was Ryan,
yellow.
but nevertheless, he's already getting a little bit bit ahead of Raul Dev, though, especially getting on the main straight. But this main straight could be the place for Eric Chandra to try to catch up to Durant Abisaquera, because remember that turn 1 is going to be a very important overtaking place here. But Eric is not able to get close enough.
Yeah.
But who is close enough here is Raul Dev. He tries to go on the inside. Ryan Rusin cannot find it, though, because Rusin has just closed the door onto him and now forces Raul Dev to back up off that battle there and into the arms of Durant Abisaquera.
Oh man, unfortunate there for Eric. Eric is just not able to catch up to the pack at all. He's actually slipping behind. Oh gosh.
You saw that little touch stuff there. Yeah, Raul Dev just letting Ryan Musin know it's like, I still have a pace here, man. Like, but then again, Ryan.
Oh, hang on. I see a bit of collision there. Just a couple bumps here and there.
Just a couple of bumps right now. Just to remind the driver in front that he's still under pressure, you know. So,
Don't
but
relax.
nevertheless, Raul Dev trying to go again. But look at that, Ryan Musin. Oh, boom of the car sliding a little bit. Durant Abisaquera tries to go around the outside,
recovery?
slips around like a slalom there, and he moves up into the 3rd place there. What a move there from Durant Abisaquera.
Just beautiful maneuvering in front of those 2 vehicles. He had such a clean turn as well, was just able to slip on through. And now it's going to be Durand to hold the position in front of all 3 of these cars. But it's not over yet, Victor. We've still got 6 more minutes to go.
I know.
It almost feels like it should be the end of the race, but we're just halfway through.
I mean, it's like whether it's the beginning of the race or the end of the race, these guys just keep pushing and pushing here. Jason Undo, he's already pushed so hard. He's caught up to Adrian Ahmed, who remember had a 2-second gap at the start of this race. That's all shrunk down to half a second now between Adrian and Jason Un. This is now a battle for the lead.
A battle for the crown. And Andre, again, remember, we have to remember he is an extremely young racer. He is under a lot of pressure, and he's actually raced really well for the past couple of rounds. It's just every now and again, unfortunately, just small mistakes. Totally understandable, though. But if he's able to take this race, I think for Andre, it's going to be such a great achievement. But Jason, though, he's not going to make it easy at all.
No, not at all. I mean, going through the first one, Jason's still behind. There's
Andre,
2 battles going on screen here. Durant Abisaquera still able to stay in 3rd place ahead of Eric Chandra, who almost got a good toe off of him. But nevertheless, the door was closed even before they were able to get through that turn. Still fighting side by side right now. The whole time, Jason Un still trying to catch up Adrian. He's not within 2 tenths yet, though. He's still trying to gain onto them. 3 battles right now happening in the top 6. This is an amazing race here.
I don't know what class we're watching here, but this is a wonderful... I love the fact that we are ending with this race in particular. But Jason working hard, Eric working hard, Ryan not giving any openings to Rahul. Like, this is absolutely insane. But Andre, I have to say, this kid is doing amazing under such pressure.
Yeah, I mean, again, he needs to hang on for another 4 minutes here if he wants to keep the lead, though. But Jason Un,
Contact!
It's run around. Jason Un needs to recover. Durant has already caught up. Is he going to be able to take 2nd place? Oh, Jason actually blocks Eric Chandra. So Eric's not able to get through, but Durant is true. He's up in the 2nd place.
And Andre might be in the clear now. He's got a 3.5 second lead over Jason. 4-second lead. Andre, this guy able to keep himself together. And Jason.
More contact on
Jason.
Jason Un again, but this time he keeps it under control, though. Still in 3rd place. Eric Chandra, nevertheless frustrated because there was such an opportunity for him to get in the top 3, but Jason Un just had to be in the way.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Jason, he's got to keep it under wraps now. He's had a couple of slip-ups. He can recover. Best case scenario here, he's going to try and take that 2nd place away from Durand. Now, Jason, I know this man is capable of doing it, but at the same time, we have to respect Durand. Such clean racing. The fact that he's been able to find so many opportunities this race to slip on from 6th place to 2nd. But Jason, he overtakes.
It was like a 2nd time I've seen him literally weave his way out of trouble, right? And look at where he's got him. A little bit of lockup on the braking there, but Jason Un not able to capitalize too much on it. But nevertheless, he's already pulling away from Eric Chandra, so he's already recovered quite well, in fact, considering that he had like literally 2 incidents in like 1 lap just now, right?
I think a little bit of contact there at the Durand.
Yeah.
So close.
But he's just lashed on to the rear end of Durand now, going for the attack, going for the pressure. Another bump again, trying to move him out of the way there so he can get a good exit. But Durand, nevertheless, still has a lot of speed, though, so Jason Un is not able to pass him quite yet. Durand still in 2nd place, still ahead right now. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Oh my gosh, we are in a very close race here. Jason trying to wrestle back for that second place after a slight mishap, but at the same time, Duran doesn't want to give that second place away, and Eric Chandra, oh my gosh, it's a three-way around the turn! Oh my goodness, what are we witnessing here in Copper Class?
That's crazy. Duran just flashing his lights at Eric Chandra going like, what just happened? He's now under attack. Oh, Jason Un also slips in front of Duran as well and takes his position on the podium now. 2 minutes still remain in the race. Still could happen here for Jason Un, but right now, at least if he's ahead of Duran here, he can still stay within touching distance of Eric Chandra.
Look, if there's a man I trust to try and find that opening, it is Jason. This man is hungry, he's aggressive, he's a predator. He is not the prey at all, and I think if you're Eric Chandra, you've got to be so scared after you see Jason just trailing on your heels. But at the same time though, Durand, I also think this man is capable of overtaking Jason here. And in fact, I think he might be looking for some revenge. Maybe.
He's getting a toe. He's flashing already. He's taking his straight away. Oh, side by side into the breaking point now. Jason Un and Duran, a battle for P3. Duran has the line. He has the breaking point. Jason still has the speed though. Tries to close it. Does close it on the exit. Jason Un stays in third.
Oh, Jason Un. This man, I think we're going to have to rename him into Jason U because he's made some amazing plays. I love this man already. But now for Jason Un, the next goal is Eric Chandra. He needs to overtake. He's got to find that opening. And again, got to keep it clean because for Jason, as much as he's made some of these amazing plays, he can also get a little bit... He can be a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit over the line, right? But then again, he's an habitual line stepper, as seems from the last two races I've seen of him.
Professional line stepper at this point, and I love it.
I think so, yeah. I mean, what a show, right, from Jason Un. Just what a recovery as well from him. You know, I could imagine being rattled, especially under that kind of pressure here. Nevertheless, guys, 30 seconds to go before we kick off this final lap. Adrian Amit still 2.6 seconds ahead now. He's regained that lead that he had early in the race, and even more than previously. So now he's in a comfortable position to bring it home here in first place. Eric Chandra now just trying to keep Jason Un behind, but if he does,
bullets.
Yeah, if he does that, he will be able to secure second place here. Jason Un now trying his level best within these dying moments of the race here.
Oh, look at him.
He tried to get and gain onto Eric Chandra here. Adrian Amit continuing to go through here. He's almost at the, I think, in the second or third sector here. He's already trying to bring it home. The timer's already run out here. Eric Chandra now under attack from Jason Un in the meantime though. But nevertheless, Jason Un may not be able to gain that much speed though. And remember, once you get onto the main straight here, it might just be over. We're already on the straight. Adrian Ahmed is going to be coming to take the checkered flag, and he wins race number 2 here for the Copper Class. Eric Chandra takes second place just behind him, and Jason Un carries on and slides away to victory here. What a race here from Jason Un.
What a race today. I have to say, this has been a spectacular way to start the day here with an amazing showing there for the Copper Class. And I'm kind of excited. Like, this is just copper. I want to see what's going to happen in bronze, because bronze is going to be coming up next. But great stuff today by Andre. I mean, he must be thrilled. He was actually he was in the lead on the grid. He was able to keep that lead for the entirety of the race, and he kept it clean, right? Because I think in that first race, we did see a slight mishap happen with Andre, where he did sort of slide off that track and lost a lot of speed. Was not able to make top 3, but for him to get that first place and to be able to outmaneuver, I think he actually did outmaneuver Jason Un.
He's getting maneuvered right now. By Raul Dev. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's a different car there. But nevertheless, what a race here. Congratulations, Adrian Ahmed, and also congratulations to Raul Dev as well. I mean, mostly quiet during this second race here, but he started in 10th place, already moved all the way up to 6th place here. So he's going to get a nice haul of points from both races. So I'm betting, like, right now from the Copper Class, this guy is the man to beat here on Autopolis.
He might be, but that's going to be it for the Copper Class, folks. That means, though, we are going to be moving on to the Bronze Class next. But before that, though, we are going to go for a bit of a break to get the racers ready, get them all off the practice session so that we can go into the qualifying round. You'll be super excited, but what do you think is going to happen? Nothing. We don't know.
I am not Nostradamus, so I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm not going to curse anyone as a commentator here. We'll just go and have to see it. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back.
Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the eRacing GP Global Edition 14. We've just finished up an amazing session with our Copper class, which means we're now going to be joining the Bronze class. This time, I'm going to be joined by the wonderful Ammo. And I know this man witnessed the magic of Copper class. But what did you think of that?
Watching from the point of view of the guys that were racing in the center, it was mad.
It was mad.
I'm not sure if the camera, the broadcast cameras caught any of the action behind the scenes, but the guys at front were also providing some really good racing. Yes, there were one or two questionable maneuvers, but I think it's just whetting our appetites for what's to come, isn't it? Because normally, when it comes to bronze, everyone will know it delivers some really good action, and I hope it will be delivered in abundance.
Well, I think we are going to be getting an abundance of amazing races and, of course, some great highlights. We've gotten a lot so far for today. We've just started with our first two races. So, Bronze class, Ammo, who are we kind of looking at here for our top races?
Well, definitely the two Hong Kong boys of passionate esports with Dominic Poon and Felix Young. They were the class of the field when they were in Hockenheim. Last time out, they were lying astern, so I'm expecting them to perform this time. But the other guy will be kind of like a dark horse.
Ooh.
Fast in qualifying, Iman Ryan. That's the Bruneian who also showed why he could be a qualifying specialist. Race maybe is not a strong point yet, but if he actually builds it out quite well, we might see him really come the championship, come into championship contention. So 3 drivers we're watching out for, and we already picked them out.
3 drivers. We're definitely going to have to watch out for them. But yes, let's take a look at the track yet again here, Ammo. And I want to get your analysis on that track because I managed to get Victor's. What do you feel like for Bronze class is going to be some of those turns and corners and really like any sections of the track that we really have to watch out for here for Bronze?
Yeah, it's the mid section right here where there was a long left-hander that leads up to a hill that goes into the hairpin. That caught out a lot of the Copper guys because the curb on the inside really does hug you in and it spits you into the grass on the inside, which is quite weird because normally you would go onto the outside of the circuit because you hit a wrong bump. But in this particular case, the curb catches the car, it will send you into the wall on the inside. Although if you're very unlucky, you do get spat out wide. So that particular corner is quite dangerous, so a bit bumpy. And then the other point of contention, or the choke point we like to call it in shooting terms, is that hairpin. And we've seen quite a few drivers go for moves there, especially for the lead. That will become really dangerous, especially if 2 or 3 cars funnel in.
I think we've seen that a couple of times already in Copper class. So hopefully the Bronze guys, they managed to tune into the broadcast and maybe see how some of the races, how some of the races concluded for Copper, just to be aware of what really happened and what to look out for. But let's just give you guys a quick update again on the championship leaders here. Now, just a quick update for anyone that did just tune into the broadcast here. We've only got 2 changes for the championship leader at all when it comes to points, really. So unfortunately for Bronze class and Copper class, we saw no changes at all because those 2 races last week were cancelled. But for Silver and Gold, those 2 races did go on.
Indeed, and the fact that it is reflected only in the Gold class because one of the Aslan brothers was actually racing during that weekend, and there was Nakib. He managed to get a good haul of points. In fact, another perfect weekend. Pole, fastest laps in both races, and of course the win. So he had a perfect score of 49 for that weekend. Takes the championship lead away from his brother. But in the other 3 classes, yes, we can mention Bronze and Copper were null and voided for this one, but they will have a rerun at a much later date. Jaden Chow, on the other hand, you might see him as the championship leader for now, but he is actually tied on points in the Silver class. So that will be quite an interesting way of doing it here, as we will have a look at the Bronze standings after this. There you go. But this is going to be Bronze, but we'll look at the championship standings for Gold and Silver when we go into their class. It's a 7-8 point difference between Dominic Poon and Iman Ryan, so the 2 presenting as we mentioned earlier, and Felix Young, who hasn't had the best of run in qualifying. He will be right up there waiting to pounce if those 2 were to come a cropper. After that, the other surprise was Bradley Martins, how well he drove in Hockenheim. So again, so many of these guys in their first ever weekend here, some of them in the Bronze class, might be ones to watch out for, including 8th place, the racing savant himself. So we'll just continue on with the championship standings for now. Couple of names interesting in there to look out for that came off shooting out from the weekend for a start. We'll see them again when we go into action pretty soon.
All right, so moving on. There we go. Not very good here with tech, unfortunately. But we are trying to get ready for this next matchup here, folks. So it's going to be the Bronze class. We're just trying to finish up for the practice session for all of our races, and then we should be good to go for the qualifier session. And I think we are actually in here for the end of the practice session. So gonna be super excited to see some of these races. I'm not sure if Bronze is gonna be able to top Copper, because Copper did put out some pretty interesting runs, pretty interesting moments as well. But we do have the cars on the track here, just getting ready.
Yep, and this is the end of practice. But though, because we had a one-minute race between the Porsches where the performance is about the same, we can almost safely say the same here, because GT3 is a balanced formula, as it's been proven as well for the last almost 20 years of existence now, that it has been the gold standard in terms of how to make different cars of different configurations work well together, and this is no different. So it'll be interesting to see how some cars will fare better, like front engine rear-wheel drive, and then mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars shake it out. So it's just the technical terms that you'll probably get used to once we get deeper into the season. But yeah, wait and see whether or not qualifying we might have the usual suspects up in front.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we do have a bit of an update here, Ammo. So what is going on here?
Just the penalties being issued for drivers in the... Well, we're getting a new production note here, but that could be an aside. Anyway, yeah, that's an aside, because we do have a live steward here tonight who can watch over the action and see what can be dished out to drivers in case they were being a bit naughty while out in the race.
Well, let's hope not too many people are going to be naughty in this race here, because I think we are almost good to go here for the bronze class. I think we might need to update the graphic here in just a second. But should be a really exciting one here. Ammo, just waiting for the sign to really go here.
Yeah.
If you're one of the racers in this race, what are you kind of thinking of before the race actually starts?
If I was in championship contention, I would definitely be focusing on getting points in qualifying, because of course this championship top 5 scores for qualifying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 from pole. That would be an added bonus. But if I were to even not be on pole position, at least some points on the board would be great, because you gotta have one of those days we need to make up when you're not having a good day or having an off day. You want to make up points on your championship rival, at least get in the top 5. If you're out of that top 5, try to make sure you're at least within that top 10 position, because you do not want to end up outside of it and make your lives a living hell, shall we say.
Alright, so I do believe we're ready to start the qualifying session. So we're going to have everyone decide when they want to go, if we might be seeing a one-hit wonder. Normally we only see those in the silver and gold classes, so I think these cars just trying to find that very clear opening to get their times.
Absolutely. And when I was watching on the sidelines just now for the copper class, that was the sort of thing that they did not have, which was keeping each other's gaps quite open when it comes to qualifying. It was just crazy. They were not giving each other that much room in terms of how they wanted to go about their ways. It's just, in this particular instance, same number of cars, but the drivers are slightly more advanced, so that's why they get to actually space each other, as we're looking at Adam Harif right up at the sharp end. So he's one of the first of the early birds to come out. I'm not sure who's that in the BMW in front of him, but that's a snazzy livery. Let's see. Yep. It's actually one of the Pacquiao drivers, so he's driving in an all-red Scarlet BMW as opposed to a Scarlet Ferrari. Arlen Redcliffe. It's quite a name, isn't it?
Actually very memorable name.
Yeah, that'll be easy to remember, and hopefully he can have a good race weekend so that we can actually see him up at the front. But unfortunately, during this outlap, he is proving to be a cork in the bottle. So let's see how these drivers shake each other out. Nearly a collision there.
Slight.
And that was really, really close to becoming an actual mayhem before we started. And that happened in Copper, by the way, when I was looking at some of the other drivers on boards.
I think that happened numerous times in Copper, so...
Yeah, even in qualifying. So, seriously, they just need to just settle themselves in, not get too crazy, just focus on the qualifying lap, space each other out.
Space out. Make sure you get that clear lap, right? Most important, just get your timing in, because we've seen time and time again where they go for that second lap to try and go for the faster time. Something happens, and it's not a faster time, so you're gonna have to deal with finishing with a slower position, especially when you come out of the grid.
Or literal donut, because literally no time set, so 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. So I do believe most of our racers here are trying to at least get that one time in. I think a lot of them are going to get those 2 times in, but so far, look at us, only one racer, Harris, actually starting out with a pretty quick time, but we could be seeing Dominic here starting out pretty quick off the bat.
Indeed, and he is the championship leader. Second round notwithstanding, of course, but he is proving to be a decent qualifier. Probably just a couple of tenths off from where Iman Ryan is in terms of how we saw in Hockenheim, but it might prove to be a different kettle of fish here, especially given the fact that this is more or less handling territory circuit. You just want to actually nail those apexes like what Dominic's doing right now. So the BMW might handle well here. Not sure how the Ford would be like, especially given the fact that Mustang was really powerful on the straights in Hockenheim.
Oh, really great driving here from Dominic. Just really great looking at it through his perspective. Looks super clean. Just a couple of bumps here and there, but should be all right.
Ooh, nearly coming a cropper at the final corner there, but maybe that was the intention because he had a very late entry and in late apex coming into the final corner, turn 19, onto the start-finish line. Will this be a proper lap? It will be... No, it's actually an out lap. So we were actually following him starting the lap, and he is probably one of the late-attators coming onto the racetrack.
So this means this is going to be his one chance to actually get this one fast time in. And I think it'll be, would you say it's devastating for some of our top drivers to not actually start at the beginning of the grid?
For the guys that can really carve their way through during the race, it won't be such a problem, but it'll be a nuisance.
It'll be a
for them.
tougher race, yeah.
I would just say it will be a nuisance for them because they'll rather have an easier job at front and then worry about what happens at the back, as the times are tumbling in right now. 45.003, nearly into the 44s for Arman Abdullah, so he is setting the pace right now, and we have him on camera, in fact, so he is running with a next level racing grid, but also with the FGT Lite with a G29. So as it's out of our cameras and out of behind the scenes right now, Imran Zahali actually gave his wheel. So G Global Edition 6 Copper Champion lends his Global Edition 7 Copper Champion, lends his wheel to a very good friend here. So let's hope that a lot of that skill rubs off. And in fact, it's a very close time between first and second because
Savi
Rathnayake 2,000s ahead.
Whoa, just a tiny. And Iman actually beating out that time again. So we are getting some really quick times here, Ammo. And we're now down to 1:10 now. Dominic, he's only got one chance to get this time in.
Yes. And where is Dominic put in relation to all this? Because he still hasn't set a lap time. He's coming through the final corner now, Danny.
Oh boy, let's see where he's going to end up on that grid because he doesn't have a second chance anymore. This is his one call to get that time.
One more, yeah. After he crosses the line, he at least has one more shot, so he needs to complete this.
And what's the time going to be? And he actually tops the charts, so he's actually good to go.
Where did that come from? A 43.6, more than a second ahead of the rest. What the heck did he eat for breakfast this morning or for dinner, whatever?
I'd say for dinner. It's dinner time now, so...
Well, he's definitely G'd up now, and he is still having one more lap to go, so this probably will be the gauntlet for the rest of the field to chase, Danny.
Oh boy, so Dominic going to be leading the charge in the grid, and that means everyone else is going to be on his tail. But I mean, this is good for Dominic. This is what he wants. Start at the head of the pack, just try and create their distance, especially on the get-go up until that first turn. And then I think at that point, that's when you just sort of like clap your hands together and pray that nothing bad happens.
Well, we could have probably prayed for the entire field of Copper because I saw that first corner proved to be quite a choke point as a lot of people came funneling in as Iman Ryan backs it off completely. That's the end of his qualifying charge. He's dropped to third because Felix Young has actually come in. So Nimesh Dean has blocked Iman Ryan there. This is an absolutely atrocious qualifying session for the championship contender, and even more so that he's been knocked to fourth place by a very snazzy name, Pri Trivino. What a name.
It's a Pri. Oh my goodness.
Like Grand Prix.
Can you imagine this person winning the Prix? Prix winning the Grand Prix.
And literally his first name will literally mean prize. Grand prize. So Pri Trivino, surprise third place there in qualifying. That's a nice little run that he's had. So he's in front of the fast Iman Ryan. He had 2 straight pole positions, including the cancelled second round, because we saw he had to do it twice, remember? So it's amazing that...
I remember that. Oh gosh. That was insane last week.
But I did mention earlier that it might be a different characteristics of the circuit did not suit well with the Mustang, and it has proven it's been laid bare here that he's in fourth.
I mean, he could redeem himself in race number 1. You know, just because your qualifying time might not be the best, we have seen a lot of these racers redeem themselves when the race actually happens. So it's not always about that timing; it's about the technique when you're in the actual race.
Yep. Fast qualifying is a bonus, especially I mentioned earlier about getting the points. But in the end of the day, the race pays more points, and if you don't score when it really matters, it's really going to hurt your championship. So no need to press the panic button just yet for Iman, but he knows full well that that's a handful of points away to Dominic Poon. So Dominic then having the front foot here coming to round number 3.
Yes. Oh, Oh boy, gonna be a really exciting one here actually, as we are getting ready to jump into race number 1 here for the bronze class. Now, is this race going to be as climactic as copper class?
Well,
I think there's a good chance actually in the middle of the pack.
maybe, but we'll try our best to actually catch where and when those the craziness happens, because again, it's just front. You can see the action happening with the race win on the line and points. 2, the mid pack, where it's just as competitive because these guys want to get the fringe points, especially in race number 1, top 15. So can't wait to see how this one plays out, Danny.
All right, Ammo, do you want to start the race here? It looks like we are ready for race number 1 here, folks. Let's have a good one. GG, well played to everybody, and good luck to all of our racers.
Not yet, actually. We're still waiting for qualifying to take over to the race. We'll have a 2-minute period where the cars are waiting. So right now, still waiting for qualifying to take over, but we can run you through the starting order here.
Yes.
Dominic Pun and Felix Young on pole position and second place respectively for Passionate Esports. They have sealed another 1-2, but not in the race, but qualifying this time. Iman Ryan, a bit of a disconsolate third, shall we say, by his standards after his brilliant qualifying heroics in the first 2 rounds. Pri Trevino is the surprise here in P3 on the second row beside Iman Ryan. Amadullah in P5, with the wheel being lent to him by none other than Iman Zuhaili. So he's got the
magic.
The magic rubbed off on him, as BMW's first and second are right there. We are waiting for now the start of the race to begin, and there we go. We're actually on the grid right now. This is the waiting period, where in the shooting games it's like a skirmish. But in this case, they're on the starting grid waiting for the action to come.
Well, I mean, we're waiting for the action to come as well. All of our viewers that are tuning into the broadcast, just want to give a quick thank you to everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for supporting the racers. I know the racers do appreciate it, as they do love being able to participate in this sort of race format, right? Because you don't really get too many opportunities like this, especially at the grassroots level.
Absolutely, and the fact that you get good broadcasts all around where everybody's featured. And we got our sponsorship as well, as you can see on the top of our screens above us. Cooler Master, make it yours. They have been a proud partner for this season and hopefully for future seasons, because they're really going all in with this. Really love the support that they've been giving us. And of course, our premium partners right below as well, with Royal Selangor X-Pac and of course Axel, the organizers of the championship themselves. Can't do this without these guys, especially the ones above us there. Okay, pointing the right direction. Playing with the camera
We're
around
working with it here.
there we go, they're right there.
There we go.
In that general direction.
Oh boy. All right, I think we are ready to go here. Oh my gosh, this is
Yep.
gonna be such a crazy race as well. I mean, this track in general I think has been an absolute treat. It's just got so many surprises. Although maybe not too many surprises for some of our bronze racers. I think they are going to be a little bit more familiar with this track than our copper racers, but
Indeed.
I mean, I think we're still going to be rewarded with a really, really great race here. And if anything, I think the question here is, are we going to be seeing any upsets? Because it is absolutely possible.
Indeed. And running through the camera from the guys at the back, Mara, Sri Suteja and Arlen Ratcliffe. Really cool names at the back here. And of course, he's got 32 other guys to pass. Whereas up in front here, Dominic Pun doesn't have that much to worry about. He's got the run up to turn number 1 to go. Lights are red. And when they go out, we're going to go out for bronze. Race number 1 in round number 3 here, and it's a good start for Dominic Pun. He's actually left his teammate for dust there, coming into turn number 1 as we go into the first turn for the first time. Trevino goes on the inside. He outbraked himself, nearly gets through. He got the whole shot, but unfortunately couldn't break in time. As further behind, we got cars going left, right, center. So yes, it has begun, Danny.
Oh, chaos has begun at the back of the pack, unfortunately. Cars are just trying to recover. We've got someone trying to recover with a donut, unfortunately, just losing control of their vehicles, but it looks like everyone is back on track. But hang on a minute, though. Look at this armband. What has happened here?
Well, Rahman Abdullah has actually come up in front, so not sure what happened to Dominic Pun. Dominic Pun, where is he right now?
Oh.
Is he up in front? Is he all the way at the back? Yes, he is actually.
What happened?
Oh, we kind of missed that in the midst of all the chaos coming through turn number 1, Danny. But
boy.
we got a race now. We got a race up in front.
And this is going to be a massive race. I'm wondering if Dominic is going to be able to catch up here, because we do have 15 minutes for these races. It's going to come down to those corners. But now, Armand, our leader for this race, he's going to have to deal with Iman. Now, Iman is hot on his tail, but we do have to remember these corners, the braking points are going to be super important, and dealing with how you're going to exit those straights.
Certainly. It's the corners that come up one after the other that really becomes important, because you have to carry the flow here, especially through this final sector. If you were to mess up and get an apex wrong, it's going to hurt you for the rest of the way, especially coming out to the start-finish straight, where the next corner that comes is a braking point that's about 10 to 15 seconds away. So you really have to make up for it for you.
Yeah, Iman just going to be controlling his speed here, trying to find that opening to actually get ahead in first place. But he's biding his time. There's no rush. We've got 13 more minutes to go. Just find that opening, keep the lines clean, and if possible, if anything, right, you want to try and create as much of a distance as you can from third place as well. You'd rather be the one chasing first place rather than having to deal with your front and your back. But Iman actually trailing off the track there, unfortunately, and losing significant speed.
Yeah, conversely, if you're the chaser, you can also feel a lot of pressure because you do not want to lose sight of the guy in front. So it's a give or take game.
It was just like Jason Oon in that previous race.
Yeah, you can be good up in front and hold out the pack, but then you could also be a choke. So it's for those guys in front. The guys behind, they have plenty to lose if they were to spin out.
Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways, right? Just try and remain calm, composed. Don't do anything too risky if possible, but at the same time, you don't want to lose sight of your opponents. But we're going to be switching over to Bardi and Nick here in 11th, who's actually trying to overtake Nimesh and can't quite find that opening. He's going to look for it again at this next corner.
Yep, and it's a hairpin. This is where he's got to look on the inside. Case in point, I did just mention that, and he might have heard it for a while telepathically, and he goes through up into pole position for race number 2. So that's a good move. Nimesh didn't defend hard. As further behind, there's a guy spinning. That might have been Amirafi. No, it is Amirafi. He has been... No, in fact, it's another one of the Ferraris, and I'm not sure who stopped there. In the middle is a Ford Mustang.
Oh no, I think someone's about to collide with him as well. Oh gosh, there's just mayhem back there.
Well, not
no! Oh, he's trying
very
to
close.
recover.
I'm still trying to find who's that spun, but either way, we're gonna have to go back up in front, Danny. This is the battle for the lead, and most importantly, for a championship lead for Iman Ryan. He's on the bumper of Arman Abdullah.
He really wants it as well. They're back onto the straight here, and hang on a minute though, Iman. He's going to try and create some speed, but he can't quite catch up to Armand here. It's going to be this corner, just respecting this corner.
Indeed, and you can see how bumpy it is. You really got to find your breaking point. Otherwise, you might end up launching to the back of somebody. And this time, Iman Ryan plays the long game here. He tries to find an opening.
He's got time.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time. He just wants to find where Arman is weak.
Plenty of time to recover. Just play it patient, play it cool. But looking at the rest of the leaderboard, we are seeing a bit of a tussle further on down the board there. So feet. Oh, you see Audi here.
Yeah, I'm almost.
Oh, he gets it. Slips in the front and actually decides to go for the block.
Yeah, Yongjan behind him actually was trying to go the inside, coming to turn number 2, and I was more concerned about what livery was he running there. Let's not show that again for the folks on TV in case some kids are watching. Look away, please. Anyway.
That's how you get people to look a little bit more. So.
I can't think of it. Yeah, but anyway, Audi, if you're listening, tell me who that girl's from. Anyway, it's coming up now through the final sector, Danny. Iman's still behind Arman here, as we got a few other drivers, including Dominic Poon, in fact, is in a crappy mode, and someone's gone off further behind.
Oh no! There seems to be a trend on this track, unfortunately, some of these races. Oh, some collision and actually pushing them off the track there. Dominic's saying, get out of my way. Oh, this man not happy with what happened actually at the beginning of that race and just wanting to try and place as high as possible.
Yeah, he is taking no prisoners here today, as well as Bardi and Nick. Oh, another guy going off. And unfortunately, that's a fellow teammate, Tammy Rafi, who got knocked off as well. So Pacquiao are having a mare in the final couple of sectors here. But despite all of that, the lead is still not changing, unless we could be proven wrong here, coming to turn number 1, Danny.
Oh, Iman, I don't think he's going to be able to find this opening. He's play patiently. I have to say, Iman, respect for the patience. You know, he is in no rush to overtake. If anything, you kind of want Arman to make the mistake here. So just keep pressuring him. Just keep it up. Also, don't lose sight of him. That's the most important thing as well.
Absolutely.
Although Felix might be in contention of actually chasing them down, right? He's also been playing rather patiently in that third place.
Yep.
Just keep it cool. Slowly catch up to them. Maybe you could be that dark horse.
Yep, biding his time. And as a wise man once said, a man's greatest weapon is his patience. So for Felix and for Iman, that's probably what they're playing right now. But I don't think Iman's waiting right now. He actually wants to get on with it because he knows he has the pace here. Yes, he didn't have the outright pace in qualifying, but at least it looks as though race pace-wise, the Mustang is much stronger than some of the other cars.
Yeah. Actually, I think at the same time, maybe Iman is trying to push for first as well because Felix is so close, right? So having to worry about your front and your back, that is not something you want to be dealing with, especially if you're in a position to try and chase for that first spot.
Yeah, you're sandwiched between a rock and a hard place in that regard. So, Iman then probably not be looking back. He's looking forward at most because he is actually locked into the back of Arman Abdullah's Mercedes. But Arman might be sweating bullets here because look at that. A very slow exit coming through turn 15 into 16. This might be Iman's chance now, Danny.
Let's see if Iman can get it. It's going to come down to his race technique. Can he find that opening? Can he get his hand on the doorknob? That's the most important thing here. Can he find the door?
Oh,
I don't think so, unfortunately.
He's unfortunately found 9 3/4, but he's looking on the inside, and it might be a chance here to go. No, he might wait. And look at that, the more they battle, the more Felix comes in.
Exactly, that was the thing that I was thinking about. Like, Felix is just creeping towards this top 3 placement, and if anything, I would not be surprised if Felix comes in and he just blindsides Iman and Armand.
Absolutely, but Iman also has proven to be quite a gutsy driver, so he will probably not let Felix by that easily. But now, at one point he was the hunter, now he's the hunted.
Could be both ways, the predator and the prey at the same time. This is such a dangerous race for this top 3 position.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I don't think Pri is going to be able to catch up to the competition here. Has been sitting in 4th place consistently for the majority of this race and isn't really worried about Bradley as well. So it's mostly 1st, 2nd and 3rd here, and a couple of battles happening further down the leaderboard here as we look at No, who is also trying to find that door himself, but his hands slip off that doorknob. He's going to have to try and find that next opening in the next turn.
Yep, and Audi Devanugraha in the more provocative livery. He's sandwiched between 2 Mercedes, and one of them in front is Johan Gavin Bugayong, a Filipino who has been getting a bit of some penalties in the first couple of runs. Here's Audi on the inside. The Indonesian makes the move, and does he make it stick? Yes, he does. But Yongjan and Bugayong actually got into a collision. Luckily, nobody came a cropper there. Further behind, Ahmad Jusmi is actually weighing his chances here. So battles all through the grid. It's really intense. But the one in front is what we're looking out for.
Yeah, Iman is really wanting to overtake Armand, but respect to Armand, I think he's done a fantastic job this race, just constantly blocking Iman, preventing him from getting those opportunities. But this might be it though. Is this the speed, Amber? Is this the time for Iman to shine?
This might be his opportunity, but unfortunately not enough of a run on the outside. And I've been noticing that Armand's defending has been a little bit iffy at best in terms of the way that he comes across, but I think the way that he entered outside, exit the final corner, he was already on the left, but then he cuts to the right. So it made it look like he moved it more than once, but that's fair game. There's nothing in the gray areas.
Yeah, nothing in the gray areas, nothing that they can really punish the players for at all. So Iman is just still stuck on Armand's bumper. And we've got 5 more minutes left for this race as well. So time is ticking. And I think at some point, if you're Iman, you've got to find that opening. But we are going to go back to Dominic Poonu sitting in 12th place, I believe, who's trying to go for this overtake himself onto Nimesh. And Nimesh is trying his best to try and go for that block, but Dominic can't quite get around him on the outside.
It's a bad Marcus, Alonso Marcus Lacambra. Marcus Alonso, the footballer, Alonso Marcus Lacambra, and he's flashing at him because Lacambra is actually holding back Dominic's.
Place.
Yeah, he's holding back Dominic's charge here, and he's flashing in gesticulation because saying, can you get out of the way? You're actually a back marker. That's the other Porsche I'm chasing for. Oh, there he goes! That actually was a dive from Lacambra, and he went straight off, and he spins it around for good measure.
Oh, no. Oh, a bit painful there for Alonso, unfortunately.
Yeah. And unfortunately there, he's on camera for the wrong reasons. So let's just leave him at that. Let's see what's up in front.
Oh, man! Has he found it? Has he found the opening? I think this might almost be an ammo.
Yes, indeed. He goes around the outside the long way around, but he comes back on the inside.
He got it!
He's got it. What a move then from Iman Ryan. Goes the long way around, managed to make it stick. Now it's Abdullah's turn to actually fight back.
But also maybe Felix's opportunity to come in. So we're now down to the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in this race. Now, Armand, he's been leading for the majority of the race. Now it's up to him to overtake Iman. Now, the thing is, Armand, he's been leading. I think if you're Iman, you've got to be wondering, okay, how does this man chase? Is he actually more deadly than Iman actually?
As a chaser, yeah. That is a good question there, Danny, because right now we saw how Arman wasn't really defending too much on the straights. But for regardless, you can see there, case in point, I think he's heard what we were saying because he is immediately attacking the back of Iman. And guess what? Iman's actually not running away with it, actually.
Yeah, Iman isn't running away with it at all. If anything, I think he's... If you're Iman, I don't blame him for wanting to play safe as well because he's worked so hard all race to take this lead away. And it would be devastating to lose it just because of one little mishap. We're going to be seeing Raja here, who is on the verge of trying to go for this overtake onto Adam, but he can't quite find an angle for this. He's swerving left and right, going on the outside. We'll be losing that distance and falling behind Adam yet again. So Raja going to have to find another opening in this race. But Iman, he's actually managed to keep his position in first place. He hasn't been overtaken yet. Arman is actually slipping behind here.
Yeah, in fact, he's hanging back real far, about 0.8 of a second, so nearly a second behind there. So good consolidation of the lead by Iman Ryan. And we were talking about how Adam Harif was actually good in his defense. He didn't actually let Raja Amiro Shaka come through with a cutback, so held his line well, and it was clean defending, good racing all around from both of them. But unfortunately for Raja Amiro, he's actually fallen behind us. Up in front of us, like Savi Rathnayake might be out in the back of Bradley Martins.
Really close to Bradley here, but they're on the straight, and it's going to be this next turn where we could be seeing Savi potentially looking to go for that attack there onto Bradley.
Yep, around the outside he goes, coming to turn number 1.
Not going to get it.
Oh, but in fact, Bradley runs really deep. Slows the ball with him!
Oh, Savi's completely lost control and is in the middle of the track.
Oh, he found reverse. Luckily, he found reverse, but is he going to get beached? No, he actually manages to find first again and go through. There's Dominic Boone coming up. Oh, you do not want to go across and tag somebody, but it's just unfortunate. Bradley having to go a bit deep. He tried to come back on the racing line, hits the side of Savi, and they both went spearing into the grass on the inside.
Yeah. Worst case scenario there for Savi, unfortunately. Sometimes those bumps on this track has just been absolutely devastating. We're down to the last minute and a half here, folks, and Iman is still leading with a second lead over Armin. So all this effort by this man is paying off for now, but with a minute and 30 seconds, is there a chance that we could be seeing any crazy plays here, Ammo?
Well, we'll wait and see first, because I think Felix Young might be thinking that his teammate, after going off at the opening part of the race, he will try to actually nip into his championship lead right now. So he'll fancy his chances trying to overtake Armine, but he will not want to risk losing a potentially good podium here for a rash move.
Yeah, nothing too crazy for now. But the distance is quite small here, though, so just a little under a second.
Oof. Oh, Bardia! Bardia goes off!
No! Just caught him on camera, too.
Oh, my word. And he's going to get whacked, too. He hasn't had the best of runs, actually. I saw him just now during the Copper race. He really was in the wars, and once again, on the cusp of getting some points. And he was in pole position for race number 2. Whacks it off, and someone goes on the grass! Oh, my word! No. Was that Ahmad Jusmin? Yes, it was. Jusmin actually went off there earlier, somehow manages to avoid whacking the side of him. So we get some semblance of what happened in Copper in bronze.
Just a taste. Just a taste in Copper class. But down to the last 30 seconds here, Ammo. So this is the last chance for some of these racers to get these overtakes in before the race is over. We are going to get another potential lap in here for some of these racers in the back. But the end is nearing here. And so far, Iman in a fantastic position. Oh, Chris Chu actually going for a bit of contact there, unfortunately. Onto Alonso. Now, this is our
back marker.
Yeah, back marker for the race.
Yeah, he's had a torrid time of it, and that actually in turn opened up another can of worms where other drivers fighting position. These are two teammates, by the way. Haris No Shahiran and Go Yeonjan. Yeonjan goes through. Oh, it is all kicking off in the final 5 minutes. We did say before, 5 minutes at the start is crazy. Long period, 5 minutes, and the craziness comes back in the final 5.
It's always the final 5. That's when the tension really starts to kick on in here. But we are going to switch on over to Ahmed, who is in second place behind Iman. Now, he was the one in first place for the majority of the race up until this final. Oh, no, it looks like we've got someone just stuck in the wall there.
It's Bardia. He's given up on it.
Oh.
He's had a torrid night, and that really puts just the icing on top of the crab cake.
The crab cake. Very sad cake in this race. Oh man, but Iman, fantastic race. He has been sitting on that second place for the majority of this first race. Managed to find the overtake onto Ahmed and is going to be finishing in first place for race number 1. Going to be super happy with how he's done this.
Absolutely. And credit to where credit's due. Ahmad Abdullah absolutely defended quite well. He didn't have to do much, but when the one time he slipped up was the only time that Iman Ryan needed an opportunity to come through, and they both flash each other in acknowledgement because they're both on the Borneo side of Malaysia, because Brunei and in Sarawak. So it's just an acknowledgement that, yep, he was the faster of the two Borneans, but in this particular case, Iman Ryan won out. Arman Abdullah will be happy with that podium in second, and Felix Young in third might just inch closer to his teammate Dominic Poon, who despite having a bad race, will still be leading the championship by a bit. He finishes 8th.
Oh, Dominic. Well, I wish we saw what happened at the beginning of the race because he was leading by a significant margin ahead of the competition. And then all of a sudden, span out, and I think he dropped to 16th or somewhere between 12th or 16th. It was a pretty devastating loss of speed there for him, unfortunately. So this next race, I think this is going to be his redemption arc, you know?
Yep.
Those horrible race ones, you can always make them come back. But yeah, we're going to be going in reverse this time.
Absolutely. And before we go into the second race, I think it was an opportunity to get a bit of a breather before we go into the craziness that is race number 2. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Returning after this commercial break.
Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the eRacing GP Global Edition 14 as we are ready to jump into race number 2 here for the bronze class. My name is Danley, and of course joining me is Ammo, and we had a pretty exciting race 1, actually. A couple of unexpected mishaps happened.
Absolutely. It was insane that the action went all the way to the closing stages where the lead swapped hands. But ultimately, it was a deserved winner because Imarayan played his game very well by this time and waited for the right opportunity to strike, and how he would take this win so preciously because now he is well truly in contention for the championship.
Yes. Now, let's talk about our grid as we get ready to jump into race number 2 here. So, Dominic Poon, this guy was... I think a lot of people expected Dominic to have a fantastic race. He unfortunately did not. And we've been trying to theory craft what actually happened because he had a splendid lead. And Ammo's kind of thinking here that got a little bit too excited.
Maybe because he was far ahead. But then there are parts of the circuit where it's quite bumpy. It will catch you out. He probably hit a wrong bump at the wrong possible time, sent him out into the gravel trap, and just... Oh, the other guys went past him from behind.
Yeah,
so
just spun.
Yeah.
I think we caught him half spinning as well. It was...
insanity.
Crazy.
But we will have to call him Dominant Poon because he was so good in that first round, and he was on his way to doing that in this proper second round of the championship. But he unfortunately had to rewrite his own script. Now he's up further in front, P3 on the sharp end of the grid. This might be his opportunity to just strike back while the iron's still hot.
Strike back, make that comeback, have his redemption arc. I think that's going to be my call for him. Just wanting to make sure to assert his dominance in this group, just to say that, hey, round number 1, that was just a bit of a fluke. I'm here to actually come back and win this thing. So let's see if it's going to be Dominic Poon spiraling out of control again, or if we're going to have to rename him to Dominic Poon because he might be pooning the competition. I think this is only a meme that all the older racers might understand. If you're a little young, then that's okay.
Well, ground pound, I would say.
All right, looks like we're going to be jumping into this race here, Ammo. Let's kick things off.
Yep. The Imagine on the pole right beside him is Savi Rathnayake. How one of these guys recovered back in the top 10 despite their early woes is a mystery. We got a driver already out of the race. I'm Rafi is disconnected, but we're gonna go out anyway. Lights on the gantry, we're underway, and it looks as though a bit of a lag from a few drivers behind, but Nimesh D manages to get off the line better than the others. He's got a whole shot, but Dominic Poon's right in between as the field now funneling to turn number 1. Whoa, Savi very deep. Nimesh gets punted out a bit by Dominic Poon. The rest of the field now stream through. We're gonna pick up a few drivers further behind, and they have actually spun around.
Oh my gosh.
It's all kicked off here early, Danny.
It's all kicked off, but I have to say, though, great recovery, actually, from the front there from Nimesh. Stephen Ong, unfortunately, is disconnected from the server, so we're going to be focusing on the lead so far with Savi actually leading, but Dominic tried to go for the inside steal, but actually got pushed back into 3rd place. Oh, what a race we're having already for race 2.
Yeah, we're only through to the few first sectors and the first few corners, so it's all kicking off right now, and Dominic Poon wanted to get up to the front so quickly, he nearly came a cropper. Savi with a good bit of car control there to keep it under his hands. Around the outside goes Dominic through Rajan Bishankan.
Oh, Raja! Oh, super close, but actually closes the door in there onto Dominic. Dominic's playing super aggressive, but Raja really preventing him from actually racing at his full potential here. Going into this next turn, I think Dominic's realizing that, okay, Raja's going to be this wall, and I'm going to have to deal with this wall appropriately. And I think, if anything, he's going to have to find that right turn to slip on through. But Raja, this man, I think he's actually saving Savi this race.
Yeah. Yes, he's actually making his bet here. Oh! Someone spins further behind. That might have been Adam Harif. Yes, it is. And Iman Ryan's involved too.
Oh, no! 2-car collision and actually bumps into the wall there as well. Both of these racers just trying to get in and recover. But Iman, after a fantastic race 1, race number 2 not going to be looking as good.
Oh, wow, and he was collateral in that one, Danny. He was absolutely mugged out of the way, and it looks as though one of the passionate cars in front is Felix Young. Felix having a really tough time with it as well. Adam Harif with connection issues, and this time, we can assure you, it's not a server. Some drivers have had bad connections.
Yes, we are actually fine for this race. I know some people might be a little bit scared after last week, but we've had some fantastic racing, and the server has been very generous with us, so let's hope that continues for the rest of this evening. But Dominic, though, has managed to slip on past Raja here and is now aiming for that top spot. Savi is going to be his next opponent, but Raja super aggressive with these turns. Holy moly. Raja, this man is on fire.
Well, he was on fire last season because he won Copper, as a couple other drivers have called it quits after that contentious first lap. Raja was actually taking no prisoners. He's normally the guy that dominates up in front, never looks back, but when he does fight, he gets very scrappy like a bulldog. So really, he makes his positions whenever it counts, and this might incur the wrath of the stewards because Dominic might be incensed by that.
Might be. I think, if anything, we got to describe him as like a bull in a china shop here. He is just absolutely ruthless this race. But Savi, though, he has managed to extend a 1-second lead over Raja, so it's actually pretty safe. And it's going to be between Raja and Dominic because these two are hot on each other's heels. Although Ahmed could be in contention for 3rd place as well, actually getting pretty close to the duo sitting in 2nd and 3rd. But we are seeing a couple of overtakes happen at the back of the pack. But Ahmed's going to play patient. I think he's learned from Iman from that first race. Sometimes it's not about being ahead. It's about finding that opening and coming out of nowhere.
Absolutely. And again, pouncing when the guy in front is least expecting it. And it looks as though Dominic might just take a leaf out of that particular book. Though, having said that, he is striking early because, yes, look at that. He's right up to the back of Raja. He is not appreciative of what Raja did in the previous lap. Goes around the outside coming to turn 1. Raja holds his line.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for a wide turn. Actually slipping on past Raja here. So it's going to be Dominic Poon back in 2nd place. But we know Raja, this man, he's going to try and fight back for that 2nd spot. And again, look at these two. They are fighting each other neck and neck. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we have to watch on board because we have our own cameraman on circuit right now, Arman Abdullah. He's watching the best bit of this action. He'll probably be...
He's just watching this drama unfold.
Yeah. He'll probably be not expecting to have the best view in the house right now because right here, if he stays in 4th, he'll be fine because he lets these two guys fight. And if they were to come a cropper, it's an easy P2.
Yeah. Although Ahmed, I feel like he is going to be a factor here because he's also going to be pressuring whoever's going to be in 3rd place, right? You have to be extremely careful going around those corners. Be aware of where Ahmed could be because we've seen what happened. Sometimes just those slight contacts. You can hit the wrong angle and that's it. You're out of the race.
or out of contention, of course, because some people probably just gave up, like, look at the body and Nick. He was so unfortunate.
Oh.
You can see his car stop there. It's like part of his soul left it when he when that particular crash happened. It does happen sometimes. We had, if you know that Keith Mo, when he first started out back in the COVID years 2020, he had a bad race, crashed out, and then he was actually tearing up. We could see it on camera. So can you imagine a 6-year-old?
No.
You can probably relate to that.
Just gotta go for that mental reset sometimes. You know, it's like, okay, just stop, mental reset. It should be good to go. But look at Arman though. Okay, it's time to attack, even though we are at just past that 10-minute mark, and he actually hits into Dominic. But luckily for Dominic, he does recover. But that is going to actually slow him down and create a lead for Raja.
Yeah. Raja's now trying to make hay while the sun shines and make a beeline for it, but Dominic might feel a bit hard done by this because that's the second time in this race that someone actually is hitting his rear corner. So it's almost like someone's out. Some of these people are out for him.
I know, right? But to be fair, though, he is one of the leaders on the leaderboard, though. So, I mean, if you're trying to gun for it, a little bit scary there. Just a couple of ping issues. Got to be careful of those high ping drivers.
Yeah, Trevino was one of them. He was fine in that first race as well, actually. He had quite a good run. He was debuting last time out in Hockenheim. Didn't have the best of races then, but he's certainly turning up now. He's up behind Arman Abdullah. So Arman's actually lost a bit of time to dominate here. So might have made mistakes somewhere there, Danny.
Yeah, just a slight mistake. And we are back to that race for the top 2 here because Raja, he thought he had a little bit of space, but Dominic says, nah, man, I'm here. I'm here to annoy you for the rest of the match. And if you let me, I'm going to slip on through. I'm going to take that 2nd place. And I'm going to keep you in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, it's a good matchup here because these two are equally dogged in their attack and defense. So it is prime time here. Watching as there's a guy off. I think that's Badi and Nick, I'm guessing, and it is Badi and Nick. So again, the 2nd part of his soul has left.
Oh no, Badia, just not having a great race day this week, unfortunately. Just gonna maybe have to go back and think about what's happened for this week, and hopefully he's gonna be all right going into next week's races. So unfortunate there for Badia Nick, but we do hope we're gonna be seeing him next week. Raja, in the meantime, no?
It's in 2 weeks, yeah. It's
next 2 weeks. Oh yes, we are gonna be having a week off because we have Chinese New Year.
Yep. No, we'll definitely be back for the replacements race, but keep an eye out on social media for that one. We might just announce the reruns as here comes Dominic. Dominic actually just punting the back of Raja Amrishalkat again just to let him know he's there. But Raja once again equal to it, but he might have gone deep again this time.
Going in for a wide turn there, and hang on, is this going to be it for Dominic to overtake Raja? They are so close to each other, neck and neck at this point, and it looks like Dominic will just slip on ahead. So Raja now back in 3rd position. This dogfight is never going to end here, Ammo. It's just going to go back and forth for the next 7 minutes up until that final lap. That is where everything is going to be it. It's going to come down to that battle. And again, my question is Armand going to be a meantime though, back in the middle of the pack here, we do have Luke and Aldi fighting for that 9th and 10th spot here, and Aldi trying to find that opening. Can't quite grasp that door handle, so it's just going to be sitting back in 10th place. But can Luke give him that spot?
Yeah, he's jiggling that door handle right now, trying to force it open.
He's trying to find the key under the doormat.
Or he's just using a hairpin. If he were to use that, the girl on his car might actually have a hairpin.
Oh,
trying to flick the door open. As he comes to the hairpin now, it's a battle between himself, Luke Morales, and somehow Alonso Marcos Lacambra has actually made up to P8. He was right at the back, so he made his way through, and so is Felix Young further behind, as I hope that Danny has recovered from that.
I'm back, don't worry. I've spiraled, but I'm back.
Welcome back, Danny. We missed you so.
Oh, goodness. What a race so far, though. Just seeing multiple neck-and-neck races. Although, speaking of neck-and-neck, the fight that we've been seeing at the front, that dogfight has concluded, it seems, as Dominic has sped ahead of Raja, and it's actually Arman knocking on Raja's door for 3rd place.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, Arman now actually has found a bit of pace towards the end, so maybe he was conserving the car, keeping his powder dry just a bit. Oh, that bump in the first corner. You can see how stiff race cars are when they become that pronounced coming through. It's like F1 cars when they had ground effects. The cars are stiff, so you had the porpoising where the drivers are literally like riding a boat. As Arman tries to dump one on the inside here of Raja Amrishalkat, and these two might not want to actually come to blows here because it will otherwise be civil war in Malaysia.
Raja is very good at playing defense though, so it's going to be pretty difficult for Arman to find any way of slipping on through. Now, we know Dominic was able to do it because he is a very, very skilled driver, just finding that one tiny opening. But can Arman do it? Because this, again, down to these final 5 minutes. This is literally it. Unless we get some contact, and Arman has spiraled out of control and has lost his place in 4th spot.
Oh, and he rejoins into the path of Bradley Martins. Bradley,
Oh no!
luckily wasn't collateral right there, but the big beneficiary out of that was Trevino, and he's right up on the podium positions again. So I think Arman was probably a bit too eager trying to go on the inside, rammed to the back of Raja, loses control, and Arman somehow manages to Raja recovers.
Dominic has also somehow managed to close the gap between him and Savi, so there's actually a very good chance that Dominic may be able to swipe that first place away from our race leader, and Savi has been uncontested up until this point.
Yeah, so normally we say swipey, no swipey, but this is Savi, please don't get swiped for his sake.
Swipey, don't swipey. Oh, goodness.
But for his sake, we really love to see if he could defend right now, because how he could defend from a really fast-charging Dominic Poon, he's definitely making up for the disappointment in race number 1 and in big spades, because Felix Young's not having the best races. Iman Ryan's just on the cusp of the top 10. In fact, we're seeing him right now across the line behind Luke Morales in that little ding-dong battle that he had with Audi Devadugraha and Alonso Marcus Lacambra. There's Iman on the inside now, coming to turn 1, Danny.
Is he going to be able to slip on through? Should be able to. Looks pretty clean. Doesn't quite get the overtake yet, but this might just be at this next turn. Very clean take. Actually, I think Luca's still ahead there. Arman actually not able to get the clean overtake. Tries to go on the inside, but I do believe that's a block. Yes.
Yep, Luke there. Morales with a very good block on the inside, so prevents Iman coming through, but he goes a bit deep there coming to turn number 6, and we might actually
I think Dominic spiraled.
Oh, what happened to Dominic Poon? Dominic again? Yes, no, he's not. He's actually still behind Savi. Oh no, in fact, he's actually spun it again.
What has happened?
Well, Amar Abdullah was actually up in front of him. He is overtaking Bradley Martins. Once again, out of our cameras, we actually didn't catch what happened to Dominic Poon.
Oh no, I fear there may have been some contact involved, and maybe he was the one that actually spun out of control, because Savi, he's still in first place. He's still a happy camper, 4 seconds ahead of Raja. And with 3 minutes to go, it's very unlikely that Savi is going to be losing his spot. But Pri might be able to swipe away at Raja's second place. Now, I think Raja already happy to actually get that second place and get away from Armand. But now Pri is going to be the new issue here. Dominic Poon, though, he's going to have to play catch-up for this race after what's happened.
Did we just commentate this blind here? Because we were waxing lyrical that he might be on his way to recovery. That's why then look at what happened out of our sight.
I don't want to... I'm hoping it's not a caster's curse here, but who knows? Who knows?
Wow, crazier things have been said and has happened as we look at Pri Trevino's on board. A really good recovery. He is the most improved driver, I would say, after the first couple of rounds here. He's on the back of Raja Amir Shaukat, but looks as though the overtake maneuver might not happen. We look further behind Audi Devadugraha with Alonso Marcus Lacambra. These two have been at it for the whole race. Imarayan looking behind, and there's Alonso Marcus Lacambra. Oh, Imarayan slips into view. It's just like he's sliding into people's DMs.
Oh my goodness, I love the way this man drives. He is so vicious. He's constantly threatening everybody around him. He's saying, get out of my way. This bull is on here for a reason.
Bull in the China shot, you said earlier for one driver, that was Felix Young. There's a literal Red Bull on his side, so El Toro is going to go for it. And, looks like Arman actually has been overtaken. In fact, it's Pri Trevino and Raja Shaukat still at it. So Raja then, with dogged defending, managed to stay ahead of Trevino for now, but Trevino looks as though he's got the better bit in his driving.
Minute and a half to go as well, so these racers are running out of time if they're trying to get those overtakes. They want to get into position now and keep it for the rest of that race. But I think it's safe to say Savi should be safe in first place, unless things happen. We're not going to say anything because we've seen a lot happen so far. But for Pri, the goal, find that opening, get around Raja. But I have to say, Raja has played fantastic defense this race.
Absolutely. And he sometimes uses the defense as the best offense. So he played that particular rule in the handbook very well. Though it might be questionable in the way he attacks sometimes, because Dominic Poon definitely will be protesting some of the moves he did. But for the time being, at least, Pre Trevino's right at the back of him. He's lost a bit of time as we go back to Dominic Poon. Let's see if he could make this one stick with Bradley Martins.
Yeah, right on Bradley Martin's bumper. He wants to get that overtake, and he will go in for that left-hand pass. Now, it's going to be this next turn now. Dominic, he loves to go in wide. Gets in a nice turn, and just still head-on-head with Bradley. Can't quite find the speed. Bradley's still ahead. Neck and neck here. And I think can't get an ammo.
No, he
really
can't.
struggling to
But
get past Bradley.
He's on the inside.
Oh,
he's on the inside that time, right? And gets it.
Also, the contact pushing Bradley away as well. So Bradley now going to have to try and play chase here. But for Dominic, just happy to be in 5th place here.
Damage limitation if he wants to hunt for the championship. He knows full well that he had the speed here, but tiny little mistakes and some factors outside of his hands actually have not dealt him a really good hand. But here, at least in race number 2, is a good recovery. But up in front, Savi Rathnayake might be laughing all the way to the bank here, Danny.
Laughing to the bank and be very happy with himself as well. Didn't really need to deal with too much. It was just the competition taking each other out, right? So Raja actually doing quite a bit of work in that 2nd place, really actually keeping Savi's 1st place for the majority of that race. But Pri is still hot on Raja's heels. And we are in that final lap as well, so there is still a possibility that Pri might be able to slip ahead, but time is running out because this is the final lap. Ammo, do you think this slip through might possibly happen here?
No, he's only got one corner to go after this is start-finish line. Meanwhile, Savi turns around the final corner, through the king, onto the start-finish line. There's a bit of a hit between Raja and Savi. We're going to have to check on Savi first. He comes across the line, takes victory, his first ever in eRGP. That'll be doing him nicely. Raja does hold on to it, despite the final corner contact with Pri Trevino. They provided an absolutely ding-dong battle throughout the entire race, and the rest of the field come through. Arman Abdullah, a very good round. P2 and P4. Dominic Poon recovering there, Danny, but wow-wee.
Dominic's been recovering for both races, I have to say. This man, unfortunately, has just been playing catch-up. Just a couple of unfortunate circumstances coming through, and he might just coming in with the fantastic finish. Very explosive.
And Felix Young crashes on the final corner.
Oh, God.
I saw the passionate car coming through, and that's it.
Oh, no.
To compound the misery and the fact that he'll be outside the points anyway. But wow, what a crazy end. And
what a brutal track, I have to say. This has been a very unforgiving track for a lot of these races.
And I'm giving a thumbs up to all of us that were involved in deciding this, because it has been amazing racing so far. And it's produced some really outstanding results, including the likes of Savi Rathnayake, who's come through and take his first ever win. And he's doing a proverbial victory lap here. So he's happy to win that he's deciding to, if you can see him right now, he can wave to the marshals and just say hi to them for what has been a fantastic drive up in front. He was uncontested, took a calculated approach to the end of the race, and pretty much went away with it.
Maybe someone to look out for some of these future races. Savi could be the next guy to watch out for. Very, very clean race for him, but to be fair, he didn't really have to worry about anyone too much. It was just Dominic Poon, but I really wanted to know what happened, right? Because Dominic was right on Savi's tail, and then all of a sudden we look away for 2 seconds, and then Dominic has just dropped back 12 places.
Yeah. Or in this case, he dropped back from what could have potentially been a podium and straight into the...
field.
Yeah, straight into the middle of the
Really?
field. It's unfortunate. Something like this is, well, sometimes an Achilles heel. The circuit may not be to their favor. In this particular case, Dominic seems to not like the first sector in that instance. But it did open up the door for fantastic racing, and the fast guys were just recovering. So at least overtakes action along the way, and that's why we had to say again, bronze definitely delivered the best races.
Gosh, I love copper, I love bronze, but as always, folks, we're not done here today because we still have the silver and gold races coming up. Going to be super excited for those ones. But before that, though, we are going to go for a quick break. But once we return, we're going to be jumping straight into silver and gold.
And welcome everybody. Welcome back to the eRacing GP. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Ammo. We've got one more, or rather two more classes, technically.
Two more races, yeah.
Two more races, too, yeah.
Yeah, two in one class.
Yeah, it's going to be the one to close out the day with. This is now the gold and silver class here in round 3 at Autopolis. So far, it's looking like it's a real exciting couple of races we've seen so far, isn't it? Copper class has been amazing today, and it seems like bronze as well is just no slouch either.
Yeah, bronze really took the cake in how the racing can be done here, especially in very equally matched GT3 cars. Now we get to see two different classes of cars come together here at Autopolis. And there's the circuit in question. We're going to see it now. 4.673 kilometers clockwise, 19 corners, and a lot of undulation, which has caught up plenty of people, especially through turn 12 and 13, where it's just all grass. They just go straight off into the shadow realm.
I know the last sector there seems to be like the toughest actually out of all the sectors in this track here. I mean, no less due to the undulation as well. But nevertheless, you know, the main characters, as it were, for this class as well are going to be one to watch out for. As we have a look at who the championship leaders are for each of our classes here. So Nakib Aslan and Jaden Chia are two to watch out for in the race later on, as they're both the leaders in their respective classes, gold and silver respectively. Dominic Poon is still in the lead on bronze class, and so is Abid Shami for copper class. But now Malaysia versus Singapore right now, or not, actually technically not Malaysia versus Singapore. They're in different classes entirely. But this is going to be an interesting race even to watch, because this is going to be the very cars that actually race on Autopolis itself, right? So I'm going to be super interested to see how these guys are going to handle this situation here.
Absolutely, because the circuit itself, Autopolis, has been around since 1990 to be exact. And the cars we have are period correct. So they do race on here. And some of the GT1 cars did actually race in Super GT, albeit unsuccessfully, because they're not fine-tuned compared to the locally made cars where different tires were made for some of these cars. It's a tire war, chassis war, engine war, whatever it is over there, compared to FIA GT.
Yeah, so let's have a look at the driver standing right now. Of course, Nakib Aslan is currently the leader in the gold class here. He's ahead of Roy Minair, Ripar Rip from the Philippines, and Keith Mo, the wonder kid in the gold class, is still in third place. But look at the lead Nakib Aslan has. Do you think it's going to be a tough one here for both Roy and Keith Mo to challenge him for it?
It might be a bit skewed, because given the fact that several other drivers who were last weekend not available, so we might see the championship order shake it up as we go into the final round of the season, where drop points come into play, and of course some reruns had to be done afterwards. But yeah, Keith might be fancying chances for P2 at least, because he knows full well that he's got the speed to challenge the likes of Roy, and I would love to see how he can go toe-to-toe here, especially that they're riding the same cars now.
And if all, Nabil Aslan as well is only 10 points behind Keith, so he's going to be looking as well to try to challenge him for that third place in the championship, right? Nevertheless, let's have a look at the silver class here. We've only got 5 names to watch out here. Jaden Chia and Kanzaini Ramdani are currently tied for points here, 75 for both of them. One from Singapore, Jaden Chia, of course, and Kanzaini from Indonesia. This is looking like a very tight battle here for the championship for silver class.
Absolutely, and Ramdani is going for 3 in a row because he successfully defended his bronze title from the previous season. So yeah, it might just be third time lucky for him, or it will be first time lucky for Jaden Chia, then how he could actually handle a fast charging Kanzani Ramdani. In fact, speaking of Ramdani, there he is on camera right now in the lovely 360 Modena.
It's such a beautiful car, isn't it? I mean, Ferrari really knows how to make absolute pieces of art, you know, on the road, and this Ferrari 360 is no exception. And especially in that race trim, it's just looking absolutely aggressive. Although Kanzani is aggressively eating out a curb there, almost losing it there. But nevertheless, this is still practice session, so they're allowed the slight mistake, you know, every now and then.
Yeah, but he also has to curb his enthusiasm.
Oh, nice one. I love that. I'm going to steal that sometime.
Yeah,
nevertheless, yep, as you guys can see, we're closing out this practice session. We'll be moving on to qualifying soon. Again, it's going to be 2 races in this class. The first one is going to be, of course, grid position determined by qualifying. Second one is going to be reverse grid for only the top 10, but based on the result of race number 1. So that's why this qualifying session that everyone's gearing up for is so important, right? Because you want to be able to qualify at least in that top 10, get yourself a good position to fight for points, and hopefully be able to take even more points when you get to the second race.
And in relation to that point, if you were in the race itself, imagine you're a GT2 car in the silver class, you manage to get up into the top 10, finish P10, you'll be on pole position for race number 2.
Exactly.
So it actually does you a world of good. You're starting not only in front of the GT1 guys, but you're further away from your rivals in the same class.
Man, these cars just look so fast, especially when you compare them to like the GT3s, you know, from those are like modern day cars, but these cars, they were from like the 90s and into the early 2000s, and they were still like incredible machines to drive, especially out here in Autopolis. And you know, again, like I love to see that, you know, the gold and silver class have been absolutely masters now, I think, by this point of the car itself. So this should be a very interesting race.
Yeah, but there's an added caveat as well that we just only added the GT500 cars for this season, and it looks as though the popular car of choice is the GTR.
Which is no surprise. I mean, it's one of the most dominant like cars to come out of Japan, right? I mean, dominated in pretty much every region it went to back when they were the factory team was still sending cars out to just compete. But that's what established, you know, the legend of the GTR itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you can just go anywhere and still be like the most dominant car of its class, you know. So it's great to see that, you know, we have putting it in the hands of our gold class drivers here as well. So it's great to see that they're, you know, giving them a little bit of a trip through history lane.
Absolutely. And the fact that there's a reason why we call it Godzilla.
Yeah.
It swallowed up everything. Well, because only Australia that gave this name, but it's stuck so well that even when we call the original R32 Godzilla, it's stuck.
It's stuck. It's stuck indeed. So a legendary car, a legendary machine, and certainly going to be a weapon of choice for a lot of people here. No less this car as well. I believe this is another Ferrari, isn't it?
Yep, the 550 GTS Maranello, a very underrated GT car, I might add, because it did come before the fortified GT1 class, because it was under the GTS category,
Right.
which was a forerunner to GT1. It was very successful. Introduced 2001 all the way up to 2007, early 8, where it was still racing. It was highly successful. It won national championships, Le Mans 24 in class, top 10 overall among prototypes.
Dang.
And it also won the FIA GT Championship as well, and the Spa 24.
Yeah.
You name the big races, it's done that. It's not even an official Ferrari car. Ferrari never endorsed this thing because they were not too keen on GT racing. They just wanted to do Formula 1. But Pro Drive, that name is quite familiar, especially to those who follow motorsports, Subaru, Aston Martin, those guys who built legendary cars in GT and rallying also built this thing. So this was like top of the line Ferrari. It's just up there. And if you listen to the sound,
So sweet.
6.5 liter V12.
Oh man, I mean, bring back the V12s, right? I mean, come on, like we need these kind of like sounds, colored tracks in our modern times today. It's just a shame that it's becoming fewer and far in between. But nevertheless, you know, thanks to the power of virtual racing here, we are able to bring these legends back to life, as it were, you know, in the period correct tracks as well. So it's amazing. Like, this is like such a throwback, isn't it, to this legendary era of motorsports in Japan.
Yep, and Europe as well, because we started in Hockenheim.
Yeah.
So
true.
it's basically where we FIGT started. The very first race was 4 hours around Hockenheim. And then we also had the opportunity to go to the likes of Autopolis and then Sepang, where Super GT actually raced as well. At one point, please come back, by the way. Super GT need to come back to Malaysia, even if they do a testing. But we would love to see some of those crazy cars that come out of the land of Rising Sun.
Exactly. I mean, like, I just remember growing up and just having like just staring at pictures, you know, of all the Super GT cars. It was so beautiful. I mean, the absolute pinnacle of JDM, isn't it? But nevertheless, now that we've already finished the practice session, now we're going to be jumping into qualifying now. It's going to be a very short qualifying session, so practically a one-shot. You still maybe have a chance to get 2 or 3 laps in if you mess up the first one, but nevertheless, a very, very competitive pool that we've had here in the gold class, so I expect qualifying here to be a very tightly fought one.
Indeed. And the fact that we haven't seen the best of Naki Baslan, the championship leader for gold, he hasn't set a lap yet, probably because in practice he just probably wants to keep his powder dry. Now we're going for it. Let's see how this goes in qualifying. And bang on cue, Nakib has gunned it. He's going for qualifying almost immediately. Nabil's here too, his brother. So both Aslans are in, as there's Nakib. Oh, Nabil actually just phased out a bit, but here's Nakib. And I was actually focusing on a car just now that me and Danny were liking. The capybara.
Hey, the capybara. The capybara. 2 cats and 1 capybara in the middle there. I love it. I love this. Like, again, you know, especially for all of them, all the competitors we have in the eRacing GP, just have fun with the liveries. We love it whenever you guys have this. I just noticed as well the L sign at the back of the car there. Learner's
He's a learner.
license.
Well, he's not much of a learner, isn't he? Because he's leading the championship. But
know.
it's probably just to teabag people in a way. Is he
I know,
saying-
it's just to add salt in the wound when he had to stare at that learner's license like logo the whole time during the race, isn't it? But
Yeah.
I mean, that's a testament to, just like how fun it is, when you have these kind of libraries. I mean, Keith also having this nice tribute to Paul Walker here in this GTR library here. Like, I mean, what an absolute lad this kid is.
And his dad made delivery, by the way. Rick
Exactly.
So Rick probably went for that particular angle. They knew that the GTR is actually competitive around here. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Yes,
That
it
GTR,
is.
the R34, Fast and Furious evokes so much memories for all of us that grew up in the era.
Exactly, me included as well. I mean, Too Fast, Too Furious was literally the first Fast and Furious movie that I actually watched. It's only after that I went back and watched the first movie itself. So this car is always stuck in my memory. It's like every time I think of a GTR, I think of this specific color, this specific design of GTR.
Absolutely. And also, this sort of design is applicable when you're doing something like Need for Speed Underground 2. You can
Right.
actually modify. You
Yeah.
have the R34 there. I always like the opportunity to make cars from movies, and this was one of it.
Yep.
It was just that it's so easy to make, but yet it sticks in your head forever.
It's iconic. It's literally iconic, which is kind of strange to think about. Even though I was 12 maybe when the movie first came out. So this is to see that now this has gone down in history as one of the most iconic looking GTRs, in pop culture today. Is just nothing short of incredible to think about.
Absolutely. Oh, someone else is also running a Weeb livery.
Hey, the Itashas are coming now.
Yes, there you go. And that's, you can see it's Spy Family.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's
no,
Spy X Family.
Yeah, I thought it was just Yor on the side, but he included Lloyd, and on top is Anya. So that is a nice touch there to put the entire family here on the side. But let's hope that the right-hand side of the car is not going to be abused too much because it's mostly right-handed corners, of course. So the right-hand side of the car is going to be the most vulnerable.
I mean, Lloyd's already armed and ready to bring some karma, I suppose, to whoever decides to mess up that side of the car, isn't it?
And it's quite nice they put Anya that Kelvin put Anya on the top so she's unharmed.
Oh yeah.
You're-
Well protected.
Yor and Lloyd are going to be protecting her a lot, or in this case, his car, as we are coming through the final sector here, the most tricky sector, because you can see the gravel on one side. If you lose control here, you're going to go off, but in nothing but grass. It's almost impossible to get back onto the track.
Exactly. I mean, it's still out there trying to set a time yet, so nothing too representative on the table, although Nakib Aslan, at 155, I think it's still outlet time, isn't it? Certainly a 550 can do a lot faster than that, so let's see what he's going to do now as he moves on for his hot lap here. Again, still using the same car as I saw him in the first round, which is Hockenheim Ring, and he himself, his brother had mentioned that, this is the weapon of choice, for them pretty much because of how fast the 550 is, especially in these straight line sections.
Yep, and case in point, look at that, 42.2. He really kept his powder dry because in the practice sessions, they were doing a 43s. Axel Nocom crosses the line now. He's P2 in the Nissan, only about second and 1.1 seconds off. Nicola Maxim Sage comes through, and he's only about 10th ahead of Mariana Axel Nocom. So the two kids then, with combined ages of 20, makes us feel now, do we?
I know, right?
Second and third with Roy Ripperip, who we thought was going to be one of the qualifying aces because he was really fast in that first round. He's only 4th place right now, and it's quite tight here between 1st to 5th. We haven't seen Nabil put in a time yet, though I think he has not popped into the silver just yet.
Yeah, still going to be a bit of time left before we get into that stage, but it's already crazy to see that Nakib Aslan is already setting up a time that's 1 second ahead of the guy in second place now. I mean, it's going to be a lot of time to find here for Nicola, for Mariano, to see whether they can also break under 143 here. But 143 seems to be, where you need to be if you want to be part of the top 10 here, because Roy Numer Riparib is also in the 143, so is Aldo Balagulan. Kelvin Pao still a little bit outside of that 144.7 for him. It's definitely going to have to look for a little bit more time on the track here in order to stay ahead of Cameron James from the silver class.
And I'm trying to find who spun around back there just now. Can't be Gary Lin, now can it? No, it's he's driving the lone Supra here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice livery as well. We did wax lyric about how iconic that livery is.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about it a bit later, but focusing on the silver class battle for qualifying, Cameron James is actually on provisional pole in that one right now. about 3 seconds behind. Of course, that's to be expected because different class of cars. But
Yep.
he's about 8/10 of a second in front of Nazmir Aslan, who's in the Ferrari as well. And I think might have been the guy that had that slight spin coming through the hairpin at turn 11, which, yeah, you can see where the car actually is lagging a bit. But he has plenty of time to cross the line, unless he could gap himself properly here, not to stall other drivers behind. That's going to be quite tight. Focusing liveries as well. That's a horn build, so you know which stadium place he's from.
Yep. Same state as I am, you know. So
There you go.
it's great to see a fellow Sarawakian as well bringing a representation here in the silver class. So great on him. I mean, representing the speed chasers community, it seems, based on the livery that he has here. So that's great to see here. Nevertheless, checkered flag already coming out for Nakib Aslan. He's already at 142.250. Didn't really improve his time much, but does he really need to? Already 1 second ahead of competition here, man.
Yeah, he could just probably relax in the pit lane, just get a quick drink, message James Russell, hey, okay, part 1 of the mission's done, let's go on to the race.
But an important kind of omission right now, it seems like Jaden Chia hasn't quite set a fast lap though. So with the qualifying now coming to close here, he needs to absolutely nail this lap here in that Katibara car, as it were. Out on track now, so is he going to be able to break it, rather get himself in front of Cameron James, or is he going to be still a little bit far behind here? Let's see how he's going to go. Currently, he has a clear track in front of him. Now coming around the final, I believe the final section, is it? No, not quite yet.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. He is in the final section now, so absolute critical moment for him. Now coming around to the last 2 turns here, you got Nicola Maxine Sage also following behind him, looking to try to improve his time too. He needs to break under the 143s as well, so getting behind Jaden Chow, probably going to be able to help him out here. Let's see as they come across the line now. What is going to be that time? Jaden Chia, I don't think he may do it here, I think. Nicola Sage just passes him.
Oh, in fact, Jaden managed to get pole.
Oh, nice.
But in the process has actually bogged Nicola Maxim Sage. So Nico actually got bogged in qualifying there. He might protest Jaden for that one, but Jaden won't complain one bit. He manages to snatch pole. And, oh no, in fact, Tanzani Ramdani has done so.
Oh.
Ramdani crosses the line to take pole position away from Jaden Cha. And a very ominous 46.666.
Hey, Devil Horns up there in my hands right now. I mean, that's an amazing number to get, and just enough to get 10th overall in both classes here. So this is going to be a great position for him to start in. But nevertheless, right now with the qualifying already done and dusted, you know what time it is. It is going to be race time here. So let's see. Nakib Aslan leading his class right now, and Kanzaini Ramdani currently leading the silver class here. This is going to be an interesting one here. I mean, these multi-class races are always quite like fun to watch, basically, because like there's like multiple sort of like storylines to keep track of, and also, you know, the different classes, they're not technically racing each other, but they do interfere sometimes, and that what adds a little bit more drama to the whole thing, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that's why we decided to go for this, because Super GTS is one of the only championships in the world that run multi-classes in different configurations of cars in one go. It's the last true bastion of what you can go for broke. It's almost like a throwback to the old days. You put everything together.
I mean, it's like you just show up with what you have and you just race it, right? And this is like an embodiment of that kind of spirit, you know, especially in that era of motor racing, which was kind of transitioning between like the old era into the new. And this car is like this perfect intersection, right, of these two different eras, isn't it? Nevertheless, we've got about less than 2 minutes now as the drivers are all lined up on the grid. So as you can see on your screens right now, Nakib Aslan currently starting in pole position here. He took it from Mariano Axel Nocom here. Nicola Maxim Sage, unfortunately not being able to improve his time, means that he's dropped all the way back to 4th place, starting alongside the wonder kid Keith Moore, who is alongside with that 550 there. Then if you see further back there, Kanzaini Ramdani, the leader for the silver class, currently driving the Italian livery Ferrari here. He's starting in 5th place, right alongside Gary Lin here. Roy Munair, Rip had qualified a little bit higher early on. Unfortunately, he's dropped all the way down to 7th here, so he's going to have a lot of work cut out for him. So 1 minute to go here, Ammo. Any kind of thoughts you'd like to give before we get this race on and done, started with?
I just hope that the Super GT cars, you know, the JGTC GT500s can give the GT1s a run for their money, because we've had everyone choose the Ferrari ever since the start of last season, because it is a venerable car. And I would like to say this out there, even if you don't like Ferrari, you put a Ferrari in there, people will go for it, because it is an unmistakably quality brand that produces really good race cars. They never really miss the mark in terms of making really good race cars.
Yeah, I mean, again, Lewis Hamilton going to be going in the
Yeah,
Ferrari soon next year, so that's gonna the year after. So
yeah, but
we'll see how that goes for him.
well, I beg to differ for the F1 team, but we digress.
Yeah. We digress.
Anyway,
I mean, this is like what, the third year now for Frederick. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going for race 1 here for the gold and silver class. This is round 3 at Autopolis here. GT1 cars revving it all up. The lights are on. And we are off. Let's see. Oh, a really bad start there for the GTR. He's almost blocked the Supra right now. So let's give it now the space for Nakib Aslan to continue pulling ahead. A bit of a pile-up going on all the way behind him as Nicola Maxime Sage managed to get his way through the chaos right now. A bit of a 4-wide, 3-wide situation. Keep One's dropped a couple places as well. He's stuck behind the Supra now as he's desperate to try to claw back some places. Mariano Axel Nocom is still in that 3rd place. And so is Rory Nemarin Ripper Rip just behind him as well as he tries to stay on the inside right here. Aldo Bagulwan, Keith Moore right now in 7th place, still holding on to that position, but not able to get past the Supra quite yet. The Supra in front of him, in fact, is trying to fight against the Ferrari here. Nakib Aslan the whole time is staying ahead of Nicola Axel, trying to see if he can get past. Here is Gary Lin as he attempts to try to find a way past, but cannot seem to find a gap from that Ferrari in front of him.
Oh, that was actually quite a clean start, not gonna lie, even with the slight mess up at the beginning with the GTR not getting off the line quite well, but the rest of the field stream way through as we see up to the hairpin. Gary Lin in the lone Supra up the inside side. Suzuka makes it through. What a move! But I don't think he has enough of the power, the grunt coming into the final sector. There we go.
The Ferrari just on the straight line completely catches the position back just like that. Gary Lin's going to have to try again in these couple of corners here, and unfortunately cannot quite stay alongside Prithvi. So he has to tuck it behind the Ferrari now, stuck behind, just watching the bumper of that big Ferrari in front of him. And the whole time, Keith Mo biding his time as well in the GTR, is looking for a gap, has to take a slightly wider line here, but still cannot find a way past.
Yeah, all the while then, a couple of things have happened up in front where Nakib actually had Nicola Maxime Sage right up his rear at one point, but the GTRs behind are going to be going up as well, including Axel Nocom, who's trying to recover from a poor start, has his fellow countryman Aldo Balagulan right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, just sporting that throwback livery of the black and yellow, isn't it? Both of these cars now just vying for that 3rd position here in this race. And both of them seem to have equal claim to that title even. It's just that Mariano is just a little bit ahead of Aldo right now in this section, but certainly the tow he's getting from him is looking really strong. He's in fact catching him in these corners right now. Could this be a potential for him to find a gap though? Let's see. He's going to try to eke on the inside. He's already hooking up, but unfortunately the next corner around, Mariano still able to stay in front.
Yeah, Axel Nocom then, the young gun who has had a quiet couple of seasons at best by his standards. He was challenged for the top 3 at one point, but now he's in the top 3 in this race, fighting with a more experienced Aldo Balagulan, but it shows that despite his young age, he can still cut it with the best.
Yeah, here we go.
He's not defending on the inside enough though.
Oh, he thought about it, but decided to back out at the last moment, instead choosing to try to keep this battle going into the next sector here. Aldo still tucked in behind. Mariano also driving a GTR. In the meantime, Gary Lin, is he going to be able to get past Sai Prithvi Sudhakar this time around though? The Ferrari is still too fast on the straights here, but Gary Lin has been catching him in corners, so he just needs to find an opportunity here. But is it going to present itself? He's looking at close up to the bumper, but still not able to get past yet.
Yeah, but through the corners, the Super GT cars, the JGTCs are way faster, and you can see where the tire war in that series really helped out compared to the control tire that you have in Europe with the FIA GT cars. Gary Lin, though, hounding the back of Sai, and this is again deja vu because we saw outside of the recording, of course, last week, that Sai was actually chewing through his rear tires a lot through Sepang, and it might be the same case here where he has not been able to maximize the performance of that car. But having said that, he manages to streak away for just a while ahead of Gary Lin, as up in 3rd place. There's Aldo on the inside.
Oh, he goes in, but he might have cooked it a little bit. Nevertheless, stays in front of the Filipino here. Oh, are they both Filipinos actually? Yeah, they're both Filipinos. Nevertheless, a fellow countryman now. Aldo this time around takes 3rd place here. Mariano needs to try to fight back here.
Yeah, Nocom then really... he might have been stung by that a bit, but we know that he could actually fight. And case in point why he actually was a fast charger through the lower classes in the initial days to get up to goal is such a quick pace. Having said that now, for this race, it looks as though Balagulan may have been the faster of the 2 drivers. He might just have to hang back here.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Aldo is slowly but surely pulling away here, and it seems like this battle might just be over now as the gap is already opened up massively between the two of them. But the gap still very close between Gary Lin as well as Sai Priti Sudhakar. In fact, he's already catching about a hairpin. Could this be the opportunity he's looking for here? Unfortunately, the Ferrari 550 is still very, very fast and straight, so he's still not able to catch up to him. Couldn't even find a line on the inside there against Sai, so he's still stuck behind him through this section. He's trying again and again, maybe a little bit of a tap, yep, a little bit of a love tap there to remind Sai that he is a lot faster in these corners here. So Sai, his only advantage are on these straights, but he needs to just keep Gary Lin behind, and he's certainly guaranteed to keep his track position.
Yeah, but all the while he's fighting hard here. He's going to choose through his rear tires, and you can see big opposite lock moment that he needed to save there. The car fishtailing somehow manages to keep it under control coming through 17 and 18. He left himself weak for a second, but he's going to use that V12 power to his advantage and just streak away ever so slightly.
Yeah, and again, once you get to the straight, the Ferrari just pulls so far away. Look at how far Sai is from the Supra of Gary Lin here. This is massive, and in fact, you're already starting to catch up onto Mariano Axel Nocom. He's already lost out in the battle for third place. He might be in danger of losing his fourth place as well. He needs to pick up the pace.
Yeah, when I said hang back, I think he probably took it a bit too literally because he's now 1.5 seconds behind Balagulan. So that really is a big pace drop-off. Maybe he's conserving his tires because he knows full well that the GT1 cars can actually eat through his tires much faster. Case in point, the Ferrari, by the 5th lap of Sepang that we had off camera, was actually not the best thing to drive. Even Nakib told us later off camera as well how the tires fell off quickly. He fell off the cliff fast.
And especially given that these are four-wheel drive cars, right? I mean, I can only imagine. Oh, the rear-wheel drives as well. So I mean, I can only imagine the battle that he had with Aldo earlier on must have really put a lot of stress with his tires. So he needs to kind of cool it down a bit. I mean, we're still we're not even halfway through this race right now, so still has time to try to regain his composure now. But then look at that, Sai Priti Sudhakar is already caught up here. This is going to be a three-way battle now for fourth place.
Yeah, and speaking of the four-wheel drive, I think because the GTR has the Ateza system, but in this case, they take it away, not because of it would be way too dominant, but it has to be by regulation.
Right.
They allowed it in the Group A version of the R32, but the 34 and before that, the R33, they were all rear-wheel drive, so they don't have advantage there. And how Nocom was wishing he had that because he nearly went off into the grass there, nearly becoming a GTR WRC.
That was really funny. The first time to see Nissan to fight for that, but nevertheless, a Ferrari or Sai Priti Sudhakar. Look at how fast he is, passing Mariano as if he was not even there. Already up into 5th place now is Sai Priti Sudhakar as he breaks for the corner now. Gary Lin not able to get past. Oh, a bit of a tap in the back of the GTR there, but nevertheless, Mariano is still able to soldier on.
Indeed, and this is like a throwback battle, isn't it? You remember that clip between the Penzol GTR and the Castrol Supra? Oh, that is it.
I mean, today is Friday, guys. It's not Throwback Tuesday, but yet such a retro revival going on here in Autopolis. I love it. I'm going for it. Oh, speaking of going for it, Keithball, he's hooked up on the inside of Gary Lin, side by side. He's already through by the time he gets to the corner. He's already up into 7th place. Sorry, 6th place.
Oh, wow. And we might need to jump to the silver battle at one point because that's heating up as well. Here we are with Aldo Balagulan right up the back of Nicola Maxim Sage. Sage then has to watch out.
Oh!
And then Sai said, watch out. He literally got tapped.
Yeah, he had to stand on the brakes there on the top of the hairpin. Not exactly the thing you want to do as well. And look at that, the gap opening up between the two of them now as Aldo has to resettle himself. That was a very touch and go there between him and Nicola. Let's see whether or not he'll be able to catch up with 6 minutes still remaining in this race.
Yep, and now this is the battle that we're watching out for. Top 2 in the championship, tied on points coming into this. Ramdani took 1 extra point away from Jaden Chia, so he now leads the championship by a point. But how Jaden would love to actually win this one and regain the championship lead. Oh, big opposite lock there from Ramdani, and the Katibara is actually getting closer.
Yeah, mistakes like that, you cannot afford to do this, especially in this class. Those just add up over time, right? And speaking of time, right? 15-minute races means that every single mistake is super punishing. You don't really have any more time to, recover whatever you'll lose from all these minor mistakes. So we cannot afford to do that, especially with the championship leader behind him here. And Jaden Chia, I mean, he's just lapping up right now. 1 second behind Kanzani now as he get onto the main straight.
Yep, and we're waiting for that particular battle to
Oh,
expire.
Keith.
Transpire, yes, Keith's on the inside of X and Okam.
Oh, that was cutting close there, but he really wanted to close the door in that GTR there, the silver and blue one. But nevertheless, Keith Moore is not going to give this up. He has another chance again, looking very, very close between the two of them now. Two GTRs absolutely going in against each other, while the Supra of Gary Lin just watches from behind.
Oh, three iconic liveries, line astern. Depends on GTR, the Paul Walker, aka Brian O'Connor GTR, and the Castrol Supra in one go. This is literally JDM dreams, but they're not dreaming about it right now. They want to get a better position out of this. Keith Moden up the back of Nocom, and Nocom fought well here to keep ahead, all the while Gary Lin's just watching brief.
Yeah, I mean, Keith is just riding the curb. They're trying to take as tight a line as possible here. Not only to catch up to Mariano, but also keep Gary Lin behind. That Supra is super fast when it comes to these corners, though, so Keith always has to have half a mind on the defense here. Gary Lin looking like he almost had an opportunity at Keith Moore, looking a little bit out of shape in these couple of corners, but nevertheless still remains in track position 6 here. But right now, the gap between him and Mariano is starting to open up. I think he's starting to think a little bit more about Gary Lin behind here because, again, that Supra is so fast.
Yeah, super fast indeed through the corners. But he's really not using that pace on the straights because he does make time through it. But for the time being at least, the GTRs are the faster of the two JDM specials, with Balagulan leading the fray for the GT500 contingent. And so far at least, making up real good time there.
Oh, the touch of the curb there on Nicola on the outside has actually cost him a bit of exit speed. And this is the opportunity now for Aldo, just sneak in on the inside, takes the position now. He's up into second place. What a upset though for Nicola, who up until that point had been looking so strong in that second position. But now Aldo, wow, what a journey for this man here.
Indeed, Aldo has actually seen it all here, coming through GT1s and GT500s in one go. Here's Keith Moe now in the intra GT500 battle between himself and Axel Nocom, coming through the long 8 and 9. Oh, he makes it on the inside, but Nocom then will probably think one on the inside coming into turn 11. Does he think about it? Keith holds it on the inside, and for now, thinks better of it.
Yeah, he's going to be able to back up a little bit, a bit of a touch on the brake as well, forcing Mariano to back up a bit, and that unfortunately leaves Gary Lin a little bit out on the lurch here, but nevertheless, good job for Keith Moe, now up into 5th place here, and looking like he's going to be able to keep this going on here. Gary Lin looking so tantalizingly, Jaden Chia now tantalizing close to Kaizani. Kaizani has already locked up his tires. This could be critical here, but Kaizani, the Indonesian, still stays in front of the Singaporean right now in the Katibara car. So still looking like it's Jaden Chia who is having the better run through this section right now.
Yeah, you can see, he's a bit squirrely there, but better off than Kanzani a couple laps ago where he nearly was sent into the shadow ram and went to the hills. Oh, he nearly did it again! He's done it again there, wow. Just as I said it, Ramdani nearly, made the commentator's blight come true.
I mean, the pressure is just absolutely suffocating, I think, for Kanzani right now, just having the capybara stare at him from the rearview mirror, isn't it? But nevertheless, look at how close he is now on the main straight here. It's going to be critical for Kanzani because it's certainly Jaden Chia is setting up an overtake now onto turn 1. He's got the toe, he's got the speed. Can he find the overtake though? Kanzani taking inside as much as he can. Well, Jaden Chia pulls alongside. He's just moved a little bit there, trying to force him to take the outside line. Kanzani still stays on the inside. Bit of a lockup, a ride on the curb as well. Jaden Chia immediately on the inside now. He has position here. He has to give the space. Kanzani has to go alongside now. Who's going to be able to make it in this breaking point here? Kanzani closes the door on him. Still left a little bit of room, but Jaden Chia not able to get past.
Oh, they both really went at it. Jaden with a complete opposite law. You can see his driver avatar going end over end there, swapping, trying to get the car under control. Somehow both of them managed to just keep it going. And we only have 1.5 minutes left to go here, so maybe 2 more laps on the books, ready for these guys to do battle, but we cannot take our eyes away right now. There's battles all the way through now. Jaden, Jaden, don't fluff out your lines at the most crucial moments.
Yeah, Gary Lin now looking close to Mariano Axel Nocom. A battle for 6th place here. Gary Lin had been frustrated, I think, the whole race because he's been stuck behind multiple GTRs here. Looking like he's, with the race coming to close now, he might just have an opportunity to at least eat up one of them. He needs to make it happen within this minute or else the chance is going to slip him by for 6th place here.
Yeah, look at that. He's doing the gutter run there. Reference to the 86, but not the sort of gutter run you want because the curbs here have been deadly, as we saw in the copper and bronze classes how it can spit you out. But in this case, I think the Supra just doesn't have enough of power compared to the GTR, but through the corners, it has been absolutely monstering it. For the time being, at least, Gary Lin, no change for the positions. They still are 6 and 7 respectively.
Yeah, I mean, for now, he is actually backed out a little bit. 30 seconds still remaining. Zaini Ramdani currently leading the silver class here. Still ahead of Jaden Chia, and at least far enough that the toe is not going to be too much of a concern for him. Nakib Aslan, you know, the whole time has been staying so much out of trouble. Kanzaini still has to take the defensive line, though. Oh, he's got to watch out for those breaking points. We saw him lock up the wheels time and time again. Bit of a fishtail there on the curb. Lost a lot of speed on the exit here. Jaden Chia trying to capitalize on this with the toe. Goes for the move around the outside. Kanzaini still on the inside here. Still not able to get past Jaden, but maybe he could just make the switchback happen here as he goes around the outside of the Ferraris. Well, actually, they're both Ferraris, but it's still which Ferrari is going to be one in front. Jaden Chia moves up in front now, and he keeps the position on the exit.
Now Ramdani has to fight back here. This is going blow for blow, because remember, this is for the championship lead, because there's only 1 point in it between the both of them, and the Katibara of Jaden Chia is up in front. Ramdani has to respond quickly here. We're on the final lap. I think Nakib Aslan might be through the final couple of sectors now. Yes, he is.
Yes,
He's actually on the start-finish line, Victor.
Flashing his lights in celebration, Nakib Aslan wins the gold class here for race number 1. Aldo Balagulan should be following him behind, but look at that, so far away, 12 seconds actually the gap as I see from the leaderboard here. Aldo comes across the line to take second place. Nicola Maxime Sage also in the Ferrari 550 takes third place now. Jaden Chia though for the silver class still out on track, still trying to keep Kanzaini behind him here, coming through the final few corners now. Is he going to be able to make it? I think, just a little bit of a touch on the curb there. Losing a bit of speed, but nevertheless, still ahead.
Yeah, I really thought he lost it, but it's going to be a drag race to the line. Ramdani, no! Oh, he's onto the grass. Nearly into the barriers. Has he touched it? No, he manages to recover, but that's it. Jaden gets the win. An amazing battle in silver. We really had to focus on that one because it is for championship implications, but Jaden then bested Ramdani that time around, crosses the line, takes a worthy victory for P20 Racing. He says P20 because he's last, but he's first now in the Katibara car. What an amazing race in all the classes involved. We have been treated to a spectacular one today.
Oh, the races today have been awesome. Even from the copper class to the bronze class. And again, a little bit of a last minute message being sent there before we get to the second race there on to Jaden Chia. But what a move there from Jaden. Finally getting a very definitive lead right now, at least for this point. We still have one more race to go. So Jaden and Kanzani will definitely have a round 2 after this.
But, you know, as they say, it's a 9-round battle in boxing. They're going to go blow for blows here afterwards. So we're going to come back for a second round knockout blow after the short message from our sponsors.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the eRacing GP. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is Ammo, aka Amir Hazik. We're still bringing you the conclusion now for the gold and silver class. We've already seen race 1 and incredible racing here today, isn't it?
Wow.
In Autopolis.
Yeah, and I'm glad we chose the Autopolis over some of the other circuits that we shortlisted to come here, because I always thought that Autopolis, in terms of action, you might get some side-by-sides, but it could be processional because some corners could be one line. But we're proven wrong here by the amount of overtakes that came through in corners that we did not expect to see some action. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just top-notch racing altogether. I mean, these boys here in all the classes actually should be proud of themselves. Seeing the improvement I've seen from round 1. Granted, we still have the round 2 races to happen next week, so who knows how this championship is going to look like, by the end of this. Nevertheless, though, we got less than 1 minute to go before we are going to be jumping into race 2 right now with the reverse grid applied here. Kanzaini Ramdani is now in the front row alongside Jaden Chia. So, round 2, let's go.
Ding, ding.
Hey, let's go.
Yes, as the great Michael Buffett would say, let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, let's go. Rumble in the jungle, or rather the hills of Japan here in Autopolis. I mean, what an amazing track, really. It's just absolutely delivered us some amazing action this weekend here. Keith Moore, of course, is going to be starting alongside Gary Lin here in the second row. Mariona Axel Nocom going to be one to watch out for, especially now that he's got Sai Preeti Sudhakar next to him. But Nakib Aslan, the class act of the gold class here, is going to be the one to watch out for from the back. Red lights are going on, ladies and gentlemen, and once they go off, it is time for race number 2 here at Autopolis for the gold and silver class. Good start so far. Kanzani Ramdani now trying to keep Jaden Chia behind, but it's going to be a 3-wide situation as Gary Lin's found opportunity. A bit of a spin in the back there. Who is it? Who's got it? It might be Nazir Aslan. Someone, Nicola Maxim Sage, I think, has lost up massively there due to the spin out as Gary Lin goes alongside Kanzani. He's going to try to attack on the inside here. He's trying to go for the lead. He's almost in the lead, but look who comes on the inside. Nakib Aslan in the lead of the race. We've been a few corners. What the heck is this?
Wow, wait. Further behind, we had an unfortunate accident. Nico Maxim Sage has been taken out there by Nazir Aslan, unfortunately, because he's the only other Porsche beside the Yamaha Ferraris in there. And Victor hangs his mouth open because he's in the display of what's happened. And further behind, there's an accident. Axel Nocom spun around, and I saw Jaden Chia and the Cathy Barra involved in there as well. Somehow he managed to get away scot-free, but we need to set ourselves in after this one. It is an absolute chaotic start.
Yeah, absolute chaos, and what a mix-up going on here on the grid. 2 main characters already out of the top 5 here. That is both Jaden Chia. We also saw Nicola Maxim Sage. Now he's down in 15th place. Going to have a lot of work coming for him in the next 13 minutes for sure. Nakib Aslan currently leading the pack here, as you can see in front of Gary Lin in that Supra, the Castro livery going on there. Sai Preeti Sudhakar a little bit far behind, but not too far out. Still on the podium positions though for the Sri Lankan.
Yep, Indian.
Oh, sorry, Indian.
Yeah, but they're close by. Anyway, Gary Lin then, he's actually coming out of the early doors fighting. He is actually right at the back of Nakib Aslan. We didn't see that much of Nakib in the first race because he was streaking away. Now Gary Lin will try to make hay while the sun shine here while the tires are still fresh to get ahead of Nakib, but the V12 Ferrari kicks into his zone on the straights.
That's the thing. I mean, the Supra, we know from the last race that it's actually really fast in these corners. It just loses out whenever the Ferrari has the space to really put all these horses to work, right? So Nakib Aslan can certainly bank on that advantage there. And Gary Lin, a little bit of a mistake on the exit just now, touching a bit of grass and lost a bit of time. Sai Preeti Sudhakar and Aldo Balagulan right now still battling here for third position on the track now. Aldo Balagulan, of course, still behind here in this yellow car. You got Keith Moore still in the top 5 right now, still in the running and still looking to try to get himself on the podium here in the Paul Walker Tribute Livery GTR here. 12 minutes still remaining. This is still a long way to go, especially for Jaden Chia here, stuck in 10th place between 2 Ferraris.
Yep, Nazir Aslan in front of him, and Qiu Yanming. So Yanming, we didn't talk much about him, even though he was in contention for the championship in a couple of classes at one point, but now he's in silver, just ruining the fact that he hasn't had the best of performances. There is Nazmir defending real hard. Oh, that was very touch and go. In fact, there is Nicola Maxim Sage Nico then tried to recover from a bad start. Nasri's out of the race, so that early collision is out of it. As further behind, there's a spin.
There's a spin. I can't quite see who exactly it was. Muhammad Kamal Ali has spun around. Was able to recover now, but he unfortunately is going to be very far behind the battle of the pack here between 9th all the way down to 13th place. So Jaden Chia still sandwiched between two Ferraris here of the two reds here. And look at it between though. I think I see the GTR trying to go on the inside. In fact, it's already gotten in front of Jaden Chia here. I think that's Nicola Maxim Sage. Yes, it is. Maxim Sage and Mariano Axel Locom able to get past him now. What has happened here to Jaden Chia's race?
Oh, Jaden then actually got squeezed out a bit because he gave space to the gold guys, which is he had every right to do. He cannot fight it because different power, different class altogether. But he actually left himself vulnerable to the guy behind, and as Yan Ming is attacking, there goes the two GT1 and GT500 cars past. The Jaden Chia, no, that's not Jaden, that's Nazmi. That's not Nazmi going through. Jaden there for the behind the Katibara has too yummy for company. But who's leading the GT2 class right now? It's Cameron James, in fact. So he somehow managed to really get ahead of the rest of the field. He's battling him on the GT1 car.
Bit of a mistake there. Nicola's good pass. And so is Mariano as well. Cameron James has to give a little bit of space there. They're not in the same class at all, so no sense for him to try to defend that anyway. Kazani Ramdani is down in 7th place, or rather up in 7th place here. Still ahead of Cameron James, still ahead of Nicola Maxim Stage and Mariano as well. So he's certainly in a very good position, although he's pretty much an island of his own right now on the track, which, could be a good thing. A little bit less pressure, especially early on in the race, so a little bit more time for you to actually think about how we want to close this one out.
Yeah, rarefied air is a luxury for some drivers, and for Kanzani Randani, that's what he's having right now. He's well ahead of the rest of the silver class, so if he just keeps maintaining the pace, and if the GT1 and GT500 guys just catch him at the right places, he could consolidate that lead, as Jaden Chia then is up the back of Nazmir Aslan. So ding-dong battle again is between the two Ferrari 360s.
Yeah, I mean, the younger brother of Nakib Aslan now trying to defend his position in the championship, at least for the silver class here, with Jaden Chia, the leader of the silver class, is just behind him. So this is a good opportunity here for Nazmir Aslan to upset him, especially with Jaden's horrible start to race number 2 so far. Nevertheless, he still has a pace though, hooking up on the inside of Nazmir Aslan to get corner. Unfortunately, the next one though, Nazmir is able to close the door. Nevertheless, the toe is still in the hands of Jaden Chia as he catches up to that Ferrari in front of him, trying to see if he can get an opportunity to pass on the inside. Close at that braking point right now. They're practically side by side now, braking together. Jaden Chia just elbows his way through and gets himself ahead of Nazmir Aslan.
Lovely move, but he actually left himself open on the inside because the exit actually can be quite tricky, and there's Nazmir going onto the inside, coming up to turn number 3, and he repays the favor, but he has the inside right next step by.
Nice one there. Jaden Chia just tapped the gas a little bit just to stay ahead of Nazmir Aslan into the next corner, and does successfully defend his track position here. So 11th place here on track for Jaden Chia, ahead of Nazmir Aslan, at least for the silver class right now. This should be a good one. Hopefully he'll be able to do a little bit more though, but certainly a massive gap from Jaden Chia up to Cameron James. 2.2 seconds. Still has a lot of work to go.
Yeah, he's in 3rd place in that silver class battle, but he won't be fussed too much given the fact that Cameron is still within sight, so at least it's not all panic stations just yet, as opposed to what's happening with Sai Suzuka, once again having a GTR at his tail. In fact, 2, if you can keep more for company, as we come to the final couple of corners in the 3rd sector here. It looks as though Sai is still struggling with that rear end.
Pretty much. I mean, Aldo Balagulan is just eating him up slowly but surely. Another opportunity there, but not fast enough through this corner quite yet. The Ferrari still ahead of him for now. Coming around the next corner here, now he will have the toe. This will be his opportunity to strike once that first turn comes up. But look at the Ferrari pulling air so quickly ahead now. Saiprini Sudakar trying to build as much of a buffer as he can to prevent Aldo Balagulan from having an opportunity in turn 1.
Yep, and that's exactly what he did. Locks up a bit, and a bit squirrely on the exit, but still keeps the advantage to himself, with Gary Lin somehow still managing to maintain P2, albeit 4 seconds behind Nakib Aslan. So that'll be a turn up for the books. We've had only GTRs among the GT500s being chosen. We'd love to see the Supra up there.
Mariano Axel no calm, very close to Nicola Maxim stage right now. This looks like a good battle here for the Ferrari in order to try to stay ahead now. But Mariano has been just gaining and gaining and gaining on him. Aldo Balogulan also very close to Sai Sudakar. Also a similar situation, although in a completely different class here. Sai Preeti Sudakar still holding on to the podium position here. And Aldo Balogulan has tasted it so many times, but he wants to be able to claim it in this race. 7 minutes still remaining. We are already past the halfway point now. So this is a stage where, you know, if you've really used up your tires in the first half, you're going to be suffering from here on out.
And that's exactly what happened to Sai
lock
Sudakar.
up.
Oh, big lock up.
Yeah.
Just as you said about tires, Victor. Just as you said it. There you go. That's not going to help his life.
Oh, bit of contact as well as they still remain side by side going downhill, but somehow, thanks to the power of the Ferrari, no, slipped
And
around, collects the GTR as well. Can they get back on track before anyone passes him? Mariano tries to get back. That's going to be one of the GT500 cars. Oh, connects another car as they get back on track. Mariano, though, still stays ahead of Sai as they get back on track here. But man, this is what Jaden Chia somehow in a bit of an awkward situation. He's now got a Ferrari between himself and Cameron James.
Oh, that's why he wanted. That's why Jaden really wanted, because Cameron was held up big time there when Maxim Sage and that was Balogulan. That was Sage was returning back onto the track. Really hampered them. Now he has an opportunity to take second place. We can see Ramdani running away with it for a bit as well. Take a bit of a breather there.
I know. Whoa, this is crazy. I had not expected like the gold and silver class to be this tight, but then again, these guys had plenty of time, you know, to battle over the last few weeks. So now this is just culmination of what they got. Not again! Baldo and Sai just getting into each other here for the battle for third place, and Keith Moore just slips on by. Keith is now up in the podium position, and both of these guys just probably swinging their hands at each other like, what the heck? What the heck, man?
Yeah.
Just literally threw away a podium position here, possibly.
Yeah, although Balogulan might be balding by now because of that. He was absolute. He had a bit of a look on the inside there. Sai was trying to get around the outside, but unfortunately, it did not go well together, and they both lost a lot of time. So Keith Mo then scampering away in P3.
Like what I said, at the beginning of the day, just keep it clean, just stay out of trouble, and you're going to have an easy time in the top 10. Well, Keith is hard. Cameron James, big mistake. Jaden Chia capitalizes on it massively, overtaking him possibly for second place in the silver class here.
And it's not over yet because the Capybara is actually going to be closing out the Ramdani. We said it before. Oh, someone's falling down. Go!
Oh, treading the needle there as Jaden Chia still slips by. Oh my goodness, things are just heating up right now with 4 minutes still remaining. Mariano Axel Nocom having already recovered his race now, still trying to stay ahead of Sai, or rather trying to catch up to Jaden Chia as well, who is just in front of him. And speaking of Nicola Maxim Sage, now he's attacking Kanzani Ramdani for track position here. 2 different classes here battling each other on the main straight. No way he's going to be able to keep him behind this rate.
Yeah, but definitely got to let him by then. And Ramdani, though, despite being ahead for a long time, he battled a couple of GT1s. Now, he's going to fall into the clutches of his fellow Race 1 rival, Jaden Chia. So the Capybara now is lurking.
This is amazing. The Capybara just bringing absolute luck onto Jaden Chia's side. You thought, when he dropped out the top 10, he was going to be out of it. No, he is coming back, and he's coming back hard. 3 minutes, 40 seconds still remaining. Jaden Chia still ahead of the GT1 GTR behind him at the moment. But look at Mariano Axel Nocom already catching up to that Ferrari here. Jaden doesn't need this kind of pressure right now. He just wants to focus on his battle with Kanzaini, but his GTR is just literally slipping by him, forcing him to get out of position here, and that's going to cost him a bit of time.
Yep, but not too much as he would have liked. That's because he got him on the exit. So luckily, not too much time wasted compared to Ramdani now. He might have to give way at the most dangerous corner once again, turn 12-13. That's where we saw most of the action in the previous lap, as Yan Ming unfortunately has called it quits. He probably took one hit too many.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was already in the back of the grid, and with 3 minutes remaining, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get himself in the points. Meantime, Mariano now making another attempt here, this time at Kanzani. Dude, this is looking very sketchy there. But nevertheless, Mariano backed out of it just in time. Now he's caught up to the bumper. Kanzani trying to go around the outside again. He has an opportunity if he can just get alongside, but not quite. Kanzani still blocking him, though. But this might be good news for Jaden Chia, as this defending here has actually brought him a lot closer now. So now's the chance for Jaden to strike.
And did I say it before just now? If he caught him at the wrong point in 12-13, he's going to be a sitting duck. And there it is. Ramdani really had his entire lap compromised by virtue of the fact that a couple of faster cars were trying to overtake him. Now Jaden is sensing blood in the water. He's ready to pounce.
He's ready to pounce already. Kanzaini Ramdani checking a maximum track position on the outside here. Really trying to maximize his line through turn 1 for sure. As Jaden Chia tries desperately to keep up here. Nevertheless, you know, we still have 2 minutes to go. Still have 2 more chances here for Jaden Chia to try to catch up and perhaps even overtake Kanzaini Ramdani. And that also conversely means 2 minutes for Kanzaini Ramdani to stay in this track position here for his hopes in the silver class title.
And if you actually put into account the points, without counting fastest laps, of course, because that's 2 extra points for both races, 4, they might actually still be whereas they were coming into the championship.
Right?
It's about the same as even Stevens.
Jeez, this is going to go down for sure into the 4th round here. I mean, looking at the level of these 2 drivers. Oh, Kazani made a mistake there. A fishtail actually losing him a lot of speed on exit, and Jaden Chia is already caught up. Could this be the opportunity he's been looking for? The Capybara already salivating at the possibility of an overtake. Round the outside, it looks like Kazani locking up his tires massively here. Oh, bit of a touch as well. Jaden Chia not able to get past.
Not yet at least, but it looks as though that Jaden is the faster of the 2 Ferraris here. The Capybara really is galloping up to the back of Ramdani, who's actually just a bit wounded here by the fact that he had his momentum stalled when the faster guys were trying to come through us. We might have a move for Keith Mo up to 2nd place against Gary Lin. This would be really nice. Plus, Keith might have an opportunity to get up to 2nd here because he's outscoring Roy Ripperip.
Ooh, a bit of mistake there. I mean, the lockup and touching the outside on the grass there. Keith Mo, though, he's done quite well to catch up to Gary Lin, but unfortunately, 30 seconds still remain, and he's still 1 second away from the Taiwanese driver in the Supra. So he still maybe has one more chance, but that last one. Oh, Kazani's fun! No! Almost collects Cameron James, but Cameron James slips past him as well. Another car getting past him there. Whom exactly is that? But Kazani has lost multiple positions there. What exactly happened? This definitely has handed things to Jaden Chia. You can see massive damage on his rear bumper, so definitely contact must have something to do with it.
Yeah, that might come to blows in the steward's room after this, as we have a live steward also watching over the action. That is not what the championship deciders, championship contenders want to have.
Yeah, but speaking contenders right now, Cameron James, and massive opportunity has just landed on his lap right now. He just needs to stay ahead of Nasmir Arslan through this final lap. Final lap is already gone on, boys. Nakib Arslan is on his way to victory in the gold class, but silver class still up for grabs.
Yep. In fact, there is Nakib Arslan coming through the final sector now. He has been untouched, and I would hazard to guess another perfect weekend.
Yeah, another perfect one for him. Nakib Arslan, look at that, 11 seconds in the lead compared to Gary Lin, who right now is trying to fend off a challenge from Keith Moore. But Nakib Arslan comes home to take back-to-back wins in race 1 and 2. Gary Lin now defending against Keith Moore as he comes around the final corner. Oh, mistake coming out for Keith Moore. He's going to have to settle for 3rd place, while Gary Lin cruises to 2nd.
Oh, take a breather, but we still are not over yet because there's a couple of battles for the podium in the silver class. We know that Jaden is going to win this, but we might say in controversial circumstances, we'll wait until the steward's report comes out of this. We can only speculate for now, but that particular battle unfortunately had to end in the most acrimonious circumstances.
Yeah, Mariano, Axel Nocom had so much trouble there with Sai Priti Sudhakar, and as well with Nicola Maxim Sage giving him a last-minute challenge here as he come across the line to claim 7th and 8th place respective. Jaden Chia, the Capybara, coming through right now to take the checkered flag. 9th position here. What an incredible race here for the Singaporean.
Well, a double. He managed to take that by the scruff of the neck and win it all. But again, we only have to speculate if that race-winning maneuver for race 2 was a legitimate one. Cameron James comes through 2nd for the Sorokin Speed Chasers team. 3rd is Nazmi Arslan, and 4th would be another spin for Kazar Ramdani. I was about to say disconsolate. He will definitely be disconsolate now.
Oh no, and sliding his way. Is he going to even make it to the line at this rate though? Completely stopped on track. But nevertheless, wow, I mean, this has been a crazy turn in events. I mean, I was literally jumping up and down. I was on the edge of my seat. I was everywhere in the studio, just looking at what these guys are bringing absolutely into this fight here. Wow.
Yeah, I think he is definitely giving up on that, and so is Kamal Ali. And I don't know where he is that time. He probably didn't finish the race. But you doff your hat to Nakib Arslan, another double.
Wow. Wow, wow. I mean, this weekend has more than delivered like what I expected, even just coming in to the studio today. Like, I was expecting somewhat of a repeat of what's going on in round one, but man, did they absolutely deliver in round three here. I cannot imagine what's going to happen in round four, isn't it?
Championship decider. We don't know
Exactly.
who's going to win. And after that, we also have a rerun as well. So the championship complications might be even more complicated after this. We were about to get some drivers on board for interviews, but unfortunately, we might have lost the key guys that we have.
Yeah, we got Gary Lin, I think, right now
because-
still in the call.
Yep, Gary Lin finished in P2 in race number 2, in fact, in front of Keith Mo. So we can have him come on board. Vic, take it away.
Yeah, hello, Gary Lin. Gary, he's currently having his headset off right now. Hi, Gary. Hope you can hear me right now. Amazing race there. Congratulations on being able to take second place there. I mean, in these couple of races here, could you share me like how you're feeling right now?
Pretty excited. Very happy to be finishing second on the second race. The Supra obviously wasn't not a great car on the straight line, but overall, tried to make up for it in the corner. So I'm pretty happy with the second place result.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Ferrari is just too difficult to catch on a straight line. So, but then trying to catch them in these corners here, it seems like it's still not really enough. So, do you think you might still stick with the Supra? You know, going for the championship decider round here, or do you think you might want to try to change the strategy up? What are your thoughts here?
I think I'll stay with the Supra. It's a really fun car to drive around, and it makes things pretty interesting.
Yeah, and lastly, I mean, you had a quite an amazing battle with Keith Moore towards the end there. I mean, were you having too much trouble by the end? How was your tire condition actually? Was it really difficult handling this Autopolis track here?
The track definitely does a lot of damage with the tires, but overall towards the end, I think it's manageable. But if the race went on for another 10 minutes, it's probably be a different story then.
Yeah, and certainly you would definitely have to think a lot more about pit strategy at that point, isn't it? But nevertheless, congratulations, Gary Lin, an amazing performance here. I mean, even though Nakib had taken the win there, I think you probably had like the hardest job out of everyone there, fighting using the Supra, the only Supra in this class here, fighting against all these Ferraris, and the fact you're still able to take second place is nothing short of amazing. So thank you so much, Gary Lin.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so with that said and done, that I think that's pretty much going to be concluding our day here today. But again, wow, amazing races all together here in all different classes. Are we going to be having another interview coming up? Nope. Okay, so that should be about it. Again, thank you all so much at home watching us. Bring you guys the eRacing GP here. I mean, round number 3 is now done and dusted, so that means there's still one more round to go in round 4. Although I do believe for 2 of our classes, they're going to have a repeat of round 2 due to the technical difficulties happening next week. So, yeah, it's going to be a very busy week for us ahead, isn't it?
Yeah. And in fact, because Chinese New Year's around the corner, we might just get those out of the way, and then we'll be back for the finale where some scores will be settled in that one.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I can't wait to see how this championship for Series 14 is going to go down here. So, with that said and done, thank you all so much for joining us here at the eRacing GP. This has been the Global Edition Series 14, round number 3 in Autopolis. We'll be back once again, not only for our round 2 rerun, but also for our conclusion in round number 4. So make sure you guys follow us on all our social medias to stay notified when those shows go live. So, until then, my name has been Victor Cax. Joining me here has been Ammo. We've been your commentators together with Danalee as well, who's sitting by the couch just waving us. Hi there, Danalee. So, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully, we'll see you guys next week and bring you more action here at the eRacing GP. Until then, good night and good luck.